after groups like the Black Panthers because they said the Black Panthers are mobilizing to overthrow the government. Were the Black Panthers mobilizing to overthrow the government?
The Black Panther Party of the 1960s was mobilizing to stop police from outright murdering and slaughtering our people in the streets. And if it was about overthrowing the government, then why did J. Edgar Hoover, the wicked master and founder of COINTELPRO, why did he work day and night to stop Dr. Martin Luther King, who he termed the most dangerous Negro in America? Why did before that he vehemently worked to destroy Minister Malcolm X, and before that he worked in the early days to destroy Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who was a peaceful man? And so it is just COINTELPRO is an official action of the U.S. government through the FBI, and is designed to crush the rise of black people and stop the rise of a black messiah. Black Messiah.
Ghetto family, that was from the STL 2012 classic, The Ghetto Rise of the Black Messiah. We'll get more off into that, and we'll go ahead and open up. And by chance, I'm going to have to take a phone call. First time that I ever take a phone call doing a live. But the Queen said she ran into Chris Rock down in the Delmore Loop. So I want to hear what she got to say on that. You know what I'm saying? But let me go ahead and open up. In the name of Amun-Ra, the Divine Father, Mut-Nata, the Divine Mother, Consul Caressa, Divine Child, and all of us, Netaru, the Divine People. I am Pharaoh Hekau-Ra, Metu, Kepanub, Ankh, the sovereign ruler of the Nubian Sufi Empire, gods and goddesses, the UTBA, the United Theocracy of Black America, as well as the entire Black Planet Earth, as well as the entire Black Planet Mars, and the entire Black Planet Mercury, the entire Black Planet Venus, and all other black planets in this yellow sun solar system. To one and all, I say Heka Hotep. Yeah, the Queen just let me know who she ran into. And that's a beautiful thing. That's just letting me know that, you know, positive vibes. So I'm sure she just sent me the picture. So she just ran into Chris Rock and Delmore Loop. You know what I'm saying? That's why it kind of took me a minute to get back on. And he just dressed like a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't have to dress like $1 million. You know, you don't have to dress like $1 million because you got $1 million. You ain't got to dress like a superstar because you are. And sometimes, you know, just be among the people. Like me, you usually see me wearing a suit and tie or whatever, clean cut. And that's because I'm projecting out the image of what I want the world to respond to me as, right? So if I want the world to respond to me as a respectable businessman, meaning you're gonna come to me with respect, not disrespect, then I'm gonna address the 75% of my time interacting with public, family or friends. I'm gonna dress in a way that you're gonna give me respect or you're not gonna deal with me, right? Like me and my little sister Shella, she was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have any money. I don't know if you gonna go here and go there. I said when I showed up in Flint, I showed up with money in my pocket. Right? Do I look like I'm a bum? So I'm not gonna let you look like a bum. And so, it's the energy, and to the point where, the police. I have an interaction with police or law enforcement, and they call me sir. Now, how many black men have you heard the police call sir? If they're not a mayor, a governor, or a senator, or a billionaire. But when the police see me, they say sir, right? Because I present myself as being a sir. I present myself as being a lord. I present myself as being our self, Lord, and Master, right? So it's what you as a man present yourself out to the world is what you're going to receive. But right now, you don't see the suit and tie. You don't see me in my Clark Kent mode, right? You see me in my Superman mode, because right now we're talking about the ghetto rise of the Black Messiah. And I'm going to give you a little history of this Black Messiah and what it really means on a racial, national, cultural, political, spiritual, and even on a cosmic level, what this Black Messiah really is. Because I have a sword for any false Black Messiahs that's going to try to come out. You got to go through blood, sweat, and tears of the ancestors. That's the anointing that you have to receive in order for you to even claim such. So, if there's those out or coming out later, you gotta want to die to be the Black Messiah. That's the payment. But then if you're willing to do that, you're willing to be resurrected, right? And if you're willing to be resurrected, you're willing to be an immortal. So we're going to go off into the science of that. And like I said, if the call comes through, we're going to pause for the calls, right? So just to give y'all a little history of myself, I'm older than I look. And the reason that I'm older than I look is because there was a point in time that through the science of yoga, I tapped into a cosmic power that was within the self, and it cracked open the seed of immortality, and it preserved my facial features. It preserved my facial features of when I was 20. So I could say when I turn 80 years old, I'm still gonna be looking like this. No wrinkles. I said no wrinkles. Now some of y'all just can't understand. How can I claim at 80 years old? I can claim at 120 years old, I'm going to look like this with no wrinkles. Because if you understand the science of being beyond time and space, if you got to that level where your consciousness transcends time and space, your body will too. And what causes wrinkles is the pull of gravity. Right? But see, I have mastered not for gravity to pull on me, but me to pull on gravity. Right? That's when we say I, self, Lord, and Master. Meaning that I is that inner power, that eternal self that never dies, that self that never grows old, the I, right? The energy. They say energy. What is it? Energy, or is it that energy? Is it that inner God within yourself? That Atman. You know what I'm saying? That Ka, that Chi, that life force, right? But then, what is the self? The self is what you project yourself. The self is what you project outward to the world, right? Your physical manifestation, if you was born a man, you're a man. You can't get no philosophies, no transgender philosophies, and try to make yourself present your physical self as what you're not. If your soul took a manifestation, because when it all boils down to it, your soul is the one that goes from one life into the next life, or rebirth or reincarnation. And the soul is really the way that the inner God is able to take on another existence, right? But the soul is the one that calls forth the molecules and the atoms to condense the physical body, right? So going back to the I is that spiritual life force, right? And then in the spiritual life force animates the soul, right? Awakens that sleeping soul for another birth. And then that soul causes the atoms to crystallize. That's where the ancient Kemetic concept of atum is where you get the word atom or atom. So the atoms crystallize into that physical formation, right? That physical body, right? So once we get that physical body, you're becoming, that's the self. Or you're a man or you're a woman. What was your birth incarnation? That's what we're talking about. You need to tell these children they can be any gender. No, they got to be whatever their birth incarnation is. So your birth incarnation is a man, or your birth incarnation is a woman, right? You're a man in this life if you're a man. Now, I cannot say in the next incarnation you're still going to be a man. Maybe the flip of the coin, you may be a woman in the next incarnation. Or you may be a man in the next incarnation if you're a woman in this incarnation, right? But it's all about the laws of mathematics. Number one is not going to be number two. Number one, you know what I'm saying, in supreme mathematics, is knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And knowledge relates to the king. But then we dealing with in supreme mathematics, what is wisdom? Wisdom relates to the queen, represents the woman. Right? So when we are moving forward within our self, Lord and Master, you know, the energy, then we get to the self, which is the expression of your whole intelligence, or your pre-existent intelligence. And that's what we have not been told, that we are pre-existent beings, that we existed before we existed, and we will continue to exist. So don't be limited or attached to nothing around you, because you exist to transcend all things, and only when you could transcend all things can you be Lord over all things. So that's where it comes with the other aspect of when I self, Lord, and or am, and what is the and? The and is the conjunction. Because once you gain knowledge of self, that knowledge of self is the power that is placed in your hands. You know, we have been taught of a mystery God, a spook God, that we pray and hopefully a book fall out the sky and hit your head. A book from heaven just fall out the sky and hit your head. We watch movies and somebody says, you got the power, He-Man, you know, all of those stuff. But the real knowledge that is acquired, or the real power that is acquired, is you gaining knowledge of self through your studies. This knowledge or what we Nubian Sufis call alchemy, is an esoteric transmission, is an occult transmission, is a mystical transmission, is a magical transmission. Now, when I say magical, don't get spooked out. When I'm saying magical, I mean an interdimensional power knowledge, meaning that this is a type of knowledge that exists on all levels. And so when you acquire this knowledge, you acquire power, right? When you acquire this deep esoteric knowledge, or what is called in Arabic the ilm, right? What made the Sufi teaching so powerful is that it raised the consciousness of its initiates from beast level or from worldly level into God level. A lot of people in the West are familiar with the Sufi teachings, especially those individuals that may say they're in the Nation of Islam or they're in the 5%, and they hear the black man is God, or they say the black man is God, but the Sufis were saying the black man was God hundreds of years ago, back in the medieval times, during the times of the Moors ruling Spain. And even if you go back further than that, with the temples of Amun-Ra, and we'll get off into that on another note. So the am, meaning that you are conscious of who you are, right? If a man is unconscious that he has a key inside of his mind that can open the door to unlock the mental prison that he is trapped in. The mental prison is what keeps you trapped to time and space. It's what keeps you trapped to the laws of physics. It's what keeps you trapped to death and reincarnation. It's what keeps you trapped to a broke and empty pocket. You got $1 billion in your mind and don't even know it. So when you acquire knowledge of self and your destiny and what you're really worth, nobody can tell you anything lower than that. No one can tell you, brother, that you're anything less than a God. No one can tell you, sister, that you're anything less than a goddess. So, brother, if anybody come at you and approach you anything less than a God, they're a hater. And sister, if anybody come to you and approach you any way lesser than a goddess, they're a hater. Right? A lot of people misunderstand love. They say, well, my boyfriend love me, my girlfriend love me, my husband love me, my wife love me, my mama love me, my daddy love me, my father love me, my friends love me, people at my job love me, people in my church love me, people in my mosque love me, people in my social events love me. They have to love. See, we don't, the attachment is not love. A lot of us misunderstand love from attachment. Love is not attachment. Love is the power. Love is to empower somebody. That's what real love. Love is to empower, not the handcuff. Handcuffing is not love. Handcuffing is putting you in a prison where your freedom is no more, right? With doing the American slavery, did the slave master love his slave? He may say to his fellow slave masters, I love my slaves. They do whatever I want them to do, right? And some of my slaves, if I was to cut the shackles off their legs and Harriet Tubman was to come and say, let's go, and had a shotgun, they love me so much that they would not even leave with Harriet Tubman. Right? But that's not love. That's not love. That is domineering. That is possessionism. right? Love empowers and love liberates, right? So in ancient Kemet, there was a science among the Neteru that was recorded by the priest. And it said that the Neteru, when they saw a god who was depleted of energy, because who knows, the god probably was creating a planet and got drained creating this planet, or using his Heka to stop a storm from overtaking the city or this village, and ran out of energy and was pooped out, right? No different than somebody doing construction work all morning to make sure a skyscraper, and at the end of the day they tired like this, like, oh, on a beer, oh, I want a massage, oh, hope my wife got a plate of food for me to eat, tired. So gods who were maintaining the geography and the elements, and maintaining the planet with all their psychic abilities and powers, or ruling other systems. A lot of them depleted of their energy. So there was gods who may have had an abundance of mental psychic energy, right? And a god will walk up and tap that brother, and he woo, I'm back, right? That was called Sa. So Sa means God power, right? In the Sufi tradition, the Sufi master would empower his disciples by touching them, right? And that was called Baraka. You can see the KEMETIC connection with Ba, Ra, and Ka, right? One Sufi greeting is Baraka Bashab, which means I'm bestowing you grace or power, right? And so this, even on a natural level, when you're dealing with people, right? It could be a crowd of people and everybody is feeling excited. Man, that game is gonna be on, it's gonna be on, or this concert gonna be rocking. Then here comes somebody and they got a storm cloud above their heads. Man, life ain't nothing, man. F that game. Man, that niggas ain't talking about nothing. Man, I'm feeling that. And the energy is so low that their energy merges with that crowd, and it transforms the happiness and the joy of that crowd into a bigger storm cloud. So that storm cloud swallows up that sun. This is a science in the temples of Kemet when it speaks about a pep swallowing up Ra. So here come the person with the storm cloud consciousness and about to merge with the sunny consciousness type of people that's loving, that's dancing, they doing a two-step, and this person come in and they talking about somebody's shoes or cutting somebody's wisdom, like, man, you ain't talking about nothing. Now people want to fight, they arguing, somebody looking at their shoes, they feeling bad about their shoes, and the energy changes. And next thing you know, they all bickering. And the bickering is what depletes the life force. Life force is units of time that you have to live on this earth, family. There's lots of ways that you could deplete your life force. You could deplete your life force by working too damn much. You could deplete your life force by stressing too damn much. You can deplete your life force by being angry all the time. You could deplete your life force by arguing all the time. You could deplete your life force by having too much sex. There's so much ways that you could deplete your life force. But there's only one way in which you can increase your life force, and that is through interacting with other gods and goddesses. So, somebody's coming up to you, everybody's feeling sad. Oh man, I just lost my job. The other person like, my boyfriend just broke up with me. The other person like, oh man, I need a new wheel for my tire. Another person like, man, my brother got cancer, and they just got a storm cloud around them. The storm cloud is so powerful in their minds that it's causing a storm cloud in the atmosphere above their heads. A lot of us don't even understand who makes it rain, sleet, snow, hail, and earthquake. The Son of Man, right? Meaning that we, in our consciousness, have the ability to affect the weather. So here comes one of the gods, and he's seeing that this crowd, they're sad, they're miserable, they're in pain, and they got a mental storm amongst their minds, right? Too many people coming together with the same frequency is going to cause something in the atmosphere. Just like when the Christians say, when two or more are gathered in his name, right? But whose name are they gathered in, right? Surely not Jesus. They're gathered in Apep, which is the one who swallows the sun, or tries to, right? The dragon. So the God says if they continue on this pattern, they're going to bump into some other people and affect them. Sort of like a vampire. You ever get around a person and they so negative you drained? Right? That's called an energy vampire. So this God is looking. Or this goddess, it could be a soul sister that's looking. And she changed the energy around, or he changes the energy around, and come to, hey y'all, how y'all doing? Hey, y'all know it's a festival going on. It's Juneteenth going on. We about to jam. We about to do this. They got some jam. They're going to be giving out some food. And then the wisdom is utilized to deal with each individual to diffuse the negative consciousness that's creating a storm that could bring a tornado, or earthquake, a death in the family. All these negative thoughts can bring all this stuff that's been afflicting us as a people and that's been afflicting our world is in the mind. All right? Because we're going into the aspect of who God really is. When we already got I, which is the energy, self, which is your expression. We left out something. Because I hear it say and. We left out L. Who is that L? Ourself. Lord. That's what we're dealing with. When you're dealing with the mind, when they say the Lord said this, who is the Lord? Who really is the Lord? Who is the Lord? Oh, you mean the indwelling Lord. Because you could be looking, okay, wait till the Lord. Man, the Lord going to show up one day. You 20 years old doing this. Man, the Lord going to show up one day. He's going to come out the cloud and save us all. You 30 years old. No, the Lord going to be coming one day. You 40 years old. Whew, man, the Lord ain't here yet. Now you 50 years old. I'm tired of looking for the Lord to show up. Now you 50 years old. You still looking for the Lord? I'm just going to think about the Lord right now. And as you reach 60 years old, I may not get to live to see the Lord. Why don't you get to live to see the Lord? You could have been seeing the Lord if you would have looked in the mirror at 20 years old. Because we have been given a mystery God. We've been searching for a mystery God for 66 trillion years and we realize there is no mystery God. All right? And so this is the reason why where you're dealing with, some will say Allah, some will say Jah, some will say Yahweh. But in actuality, these are only names of the Supreme Lord that is within you and within everybody else. But the only difference between that Lord is that you have individuals who have tapped into that power within themselves, and now they use that divine power to lord over things. Right? Lord is not just title, it's a function, right? Some you go to the job, you go punch the clock, right? I punch the clock sometimes when I feel like punching the clock, right? But I notice you have to get permission to do this. You have to go get the permission to the bathroom. You got to go get permission to do this or the move, go over there, right? What is that permission? Who is laying down that you got to have permission to do that? It's a Lord, right? Do they say they're lords? No. But they're lords. They're lords of that facility, right? You go into the military, right? You just can't say, I'm going to go get back to my wife or get back to my husband or get back to my children. No, you're in a system you're in a system where physical breathing men or women are put to lord over your functions, right? A lot of people going back to the job, they get mad and these people ain't about nothing. These people talking all this stuff, telling me what to do. I don't like that. And you know what? I had to talk to somebody. I was doing some work a couple of days ago, and they was griping about the rules and griping about the supervisor saying this and saying that. And I said, guess what? You're in someone else's house, and they're the Lord over the rules of this house. So wisdom would dictate that we get all the money that we can out of this place. We get all the money that we can out of this quote unquote job and take the money and build our own house with, and then we go lord over that house, right? There's times that I stayed with people, right? I stayed with people, and but before I stayed with them, it could have been a sister or a brother or uncle or whatever. Before I stayed with them, we was on an equal footing. Hey, how y'all doing? Come and shake their hand. Hey, what's going on? Let's smoke. Let's kick it, right? Let's eat. Let's talk about good old times. But then when I go stay with them, I realized that I was a master at first. I was a lord. Let's say lord. I was a lord at first. Now that I'm staying with them, this what happens. Oh, what happened? And they got rules, right? Right? Get your own toilet tissue. Right? Don't eat this out the icebox or that out the icebox. Right? Be home at this time. Like, I'm grown. What you mean I gotta be home at 10? Right? So now I'm feeling that I'm under someone else. Now they're lords over me, right? Some of y'all went through that too. But then you notice when you stack your paper up and you get your own place, you're the lord over that situation, right? And your knickknacks are your rules, right? So the same thing goes with a supreme God. A supreme God, he creates his world. He creates his planet, and he lays laws over those planets. And if you don't like the laws that he put over that planet, then get off this planet, right? So when we even go deeper into Allah or Amun-Ra, who created this planet and other planets, who set a rulership for a certain people to be ruling over this planet, right? And you got those elites who don't want to let go, right? They don't want to let go and let the Caliphs of the Most High reassume power that we had prior to falling asleep 500 years ago. Then they're telling he who is the Lord over this planet, no, right? So now he's got to go and pull out the belt, right? And whoop them off the planet, right? Whoop them back to the caves, whoop them somewhere, whoop them into the fire, get Mother Nature to bring the hail, snow, and earthquake and all that stuff, tornadoes, everything, right? So when you dealing with the Lord, right, that means that is you having the power to lord over your life, whether it's on a social level or it's on a cosmic level. Because as we once said, we're not limited to this physical plane, nor are we limited to this one planet, right? You can have the power to lord over a patch of land that you own, a house, right? Your family. But you could transcend that and lord over the universe as he who lords over the universe, right? You meaning that you can evolve even to the supreme being himself. And there are some gods and goddesses who through their knowledge, who through their training, their initiations, whereas Sufism, alchemy, Taoism, Kabbalah, astrology, you know what I'm saying? No matter what those different schools of thought that they, ceremonial magic, whatever, they evolved in their consciousness to the level that the higher their consciousness that they evolve, the more dominion they have. There's 7 planes of existence. This physical plane is the last plane. So if you are ascending in your chakras, if you are ascending to the highest plane, then the planes beneath you, you're the god over that plane. You're the goddess over that plane. Right? So when we think about the Netaru, the Netaru became Netaru because they were able to lord over things. They evolved beyond the regular people that was in their midst. They evolved. You have the same ability. You have the same ability. You have the same ability to become this. Or you are this. This is who you are in your actuality. Now a lot of brothers say, well, we don't call our women goddesses. We just call them earths. But why call the women, why limit the women's, why not give the women no divinity? When you say that we the black man is God and the brothers is gods, brothers' chest pump up. Brothers' chest pump up and they think they Superman, right? But what about why can't the women chest pump up? Why can't their divinity be manifested? Why they gotta be limited to a piece of dirt, say the earth? But there's other planets. There's Neptune, there's Saturn, you know, there's Uranus, there's all these other planets, right? I say that the true nature of women is they goddesses, right? And when you break down the word goddess, for real, all it really means is the essence of God. The essence of God. That's all it means, is the essence of God, God's essence, right? Because only a goddess can give birth to a god, right? So we're dealing with this Lord. We're dealing in the Sufi teachings. They speak about 99 names, right? 99 names of Allah. But Bawa Muhayyadin, I'm going to show you the Sufi master. This man right here, Bawa Muhayyadin, right? At 70 years old, he looked like this. This is how old how young his face looked. The only difference is that his hair was white. Look how young he looked. Over 70 or 80 years old. This is how his actual face looked. He was from Sri Lanka. And he said that basically the throne of God, or the throne of Allah, is right here. Which in the chakra system, that's the crown chakra. Right? So he said that that's where Allah sits at. And he was in alignment with they say he was a Spanish Sufi master, but I'd say he was a Moorish Sufi master, Ibn Arabi. The Ibn Arabi said that the 99 names, the 99 beautiful names of Allah were really 99 lords. So when we say Al-Nur, which means the light, which also represents the sun being 93 million miles away, that's a Lord. Al-Haq, which is the truth, that's a Lord. So all of the 99 names are lords. Who control those lords? When we read about the Bible, there's an angel popping up here. There's an angel popping up right here. In the Kabbalah, it only mentions 72 lords, or the angels of Yahweh, right? So we know there was an adding with the introduction of Islam as we know it. So you have 99 lords. Who controls it? A mystery God? Let me look in the sky, see. Or are you the one with the Allah on your crown in control of these 99 lords, which are 99 powers of your mind? So if you're in a situation and you're in a dark situation, can't you send that Lord, that divine quality from your mind, Al-Nur, to brighten up the situation? So this is how the Sufi masters was working their miracles, or working their heka, or called in Arabic karamat. They was able to send forth different lords to handle business. Send these lords forth to handle business. And when we look at the science of the temple of Ptah, they said Ptah, he visualized in his mind, Ptah is one of the 99 names. Ptah means the opener, right? That's his name, Ptah. You can find it in one of the 99 names as Al-Fatah. In the Holy Quran, it's the Al-Fatiha. So Ptah, the god Ptah, he visualized what he wanted and spoke it into existence. They said he had visualized the whole world that he wanted to create, and then he said Ra, and everything unfolded into existence. Right? So you as Ptah have the power to visualize what you want and call that thing into existence in accordance to its name. It said also in the Sufi teachings, which are rooted in the KEMETIC teachings, that God, under the name of Nebuchadnezzar, which is the Lord of the universe, he created himself by speaking his own name into existence. Lord of the universe. But he spoke his name into existence. Right? So there's a power that is in you. There's a power that is in me. That is a power that is in her. That is a power that is in he. If we speak our true self into existence. This is why in Psalms 82 it said, ye are all God's children of who? The Most High God. We have to claim not that I'm a Muslim. That's not enough. I'm a Christian. That's not enough. I'm a Jew. I'm a Hebrew. That's not enough. We gotta say our true name. And our true name is God. Because if you are representing your true name, then no one can subjugate you. No one can oppress you. No one can oppress you. No one can deceive you. Because you're God. You know all things. You see all things. Right? This is how in the ancient Kemetic teachings, Aset, where some call her Isis, well, in the ancient Greek tongue, but she was trying to come up in the game. I ain't talking about the drug game. I'm talking about the game of the gods and the goddesses. She was trying to come up. And she was known as the goddess. She wanted to become something greater, so she wanted to become the goddess of Heka. So in order for her to become the goddess of Heka, she had to go to the supreme god. Because the supreme god, his name was the power that she needed. So she had to learn his names. So she did some sly womanly things, and she created this thing. And the god Ra was not mortal, but he was a physical man, not no mortal. He was an immortal physical man. And he ended up coming across a serpent that bit him. But guess who created that serpent? Who created that magical serpent? It was Aset. And she created that serpent, and it bit his leg, and he got sick. Right? And everybody knew that either you go to Heteru, the goddess Heteru, she'll heal you, or you go to the goddess Aset. The only thing is that the goddess Heteru did not deal with magical as much. She didn't deal with too much of the poison. She dealt with, like, if you lost the eye, something cut, bruised, stabbed. But it was goddess Aset that dealt with poisons and stuff like that. And so Ra had her come to the palace of the gods. And could you help me out? Because I done did all. I created this planet. I did all this. And he getting sicker and sicker, talking about what he done. And she said, I want to help you, but I want your name in exchange. You see how she was bargaining? And he did not want to give his name to her. But he gave that name anyway. The name was Amun. That's where we get Amun-Ra. And the reason we call him Amun-Ra, because Amun-Ra represent God hidden in the people as the people. And he's been hidden in the people as the people for 66 trillion years since the war in heaven. Before that time, God walked openly amongst the people. But that's a whole nother story. So he kept his divinity hidden. Right? Do you know that the beast would try to slay God if they saw God physically? There's a lot of people that say that they God, that's who they slay. So God hide himself in the people as the people and manifest as different gods and goddesses throughout time and space, but never revealing his headquarters. Feel me? The headquarters. So she got that information of Amun out of Ra, and she became a supreme goddess, a goddess of Heka, because she got hold of that name. The story goes back with Ra during a time in his early days when he started creating. They said that Ra just said the name of a thing and it came into existence, right? He said the word bird and birds came into existence. He said the word ants came into existence. Lions came into existence. Whatever word that he said unfolded into existence. But we have been given a whitewash, watered down version of this thing, telling us that Adam was given the power to name things. Adam of 6,000 years ago was not the original man. Adam was what would later be called the European or the Caucasian man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because Adam was given a purpose. He was to be the Khalifa for that time period, starting 6,000 years ago. But he was only given names to that which was already created by Ra. He was given names to that which Ra already created. You know what I'm saying? He was given names so he could understand what he was looking at, right? But the science of giving names is even older than Adam, because the gods gave names to their sons, right? And so when all of the angels got names, Raphael, Yophael, Mikael. All names are very powerful, even in different traditions with the Native Americans. You know, what is this child named? Running Water. Why? It has a spiritual significance. Strong Mountain. Big Wolf. Her name is Sunshine. These names put you on a level where you become an attribute. Even if this physical body goes back to the dust or to the atoms, you live on as that attribute of the name. And so this was a custom amongst the Africans and Native American people and tribal peoples around the world. Colonialism through Christianity got rid of the science of the names. So that's going back to Black America, the reason why we have no power, because we don't have our names. There's power in the name. So that goes into the and. Now that goes into the and. I, self, Lord, and who? And who? Who is the and are we looking at now? And who? Right? And who? What's the and? I'm getting some power. I'm getting some sa. Right? I'm getting me some sa, some God power. Right? And I'm giving it to you. I'm giving that and. The and is that extra that I'm giving to you. Or that am. So you can recognize who you are. I'm giving that to you. The I, self, Lord, and what else? Master. So you can take the knowledge that I just gave you since I've been on this live and master your reality. You know who you are. You know everything about yourself now. Now it's time for you to go out and master your reality. It's time for you to go out and master the elements. It's time for you to go out and master time and space. Right? Because if you wait on someone up in the sky from the time you're 20 to the time that you're 60 to come down and master your situation, right? You're going to go to the grave waiting. They're going to bury you with your finger up in the sky like this, right? And your counterpart is going to probably not die. Or if they do die, they're going to have decades of achievements under their belt. Yachts, mansions, lands, islands, stocks. Might even bought them a whole planet in their lifetime. Right? Because they did not wait for something that do not exist. Right? I like what Dr. Khalid Muhammad had said, may he resurrect in power. He said, we're not looking for a heaven in the sky when we die. We're looking for a heaven on the ground while we still around. Right? And see, that's how the 10% got us. The 10% got us waiting on something when we die, right? Waiting on the heaven when we die. Why they having their heaven on earth, right? And they like to make the 5% look bad, you know? Because the 5% know who the true and living God is. They want the 5% to look bad, right? So they can keep making slaves out of the 85, right? Now, the correlation between what I'm saying, it goes back to the ancient teachings of Gnosticism, where the tyrant angels, the demiurge and the tyrant angels, that's your 10%, right? And the Gnostics are the 5%. In the regular sleepyhead masses are the 85, right? So the Nubian Sufi empire, gods and goddesses, the way that it was structured 20 years, actually not 20 years ago, 22 years ago. It was, I had, just to give you, I want to get off into that. Me and a brother named Charles X, I was already 2 years into Sufism. I was introduced to Sufism in 1998 by some Moors. And I was introduced first by learning about Baha Muhayyadin, who I just showed you. I was kind of in between the fence on the Hebrew Israelites teachings and I already knew how to do the metanetta, breaking down and whatnot, but it didn't stick to my ribs and the discipline I did not have to keep me out of trouble. But I had started to practice yoga in 96. I used to get in fights a lot. I used to steal all type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And the yoga took all that, me wanting to use this, and I learned how to use this, right? Otherwise I would have kept getting in trouble. Somebody would have killed me, all type of stuff. And like I said, 2 years later, the Moors introduced me to Sufism. So I was rotating with some brothers. I think one brother, Young Bay, was it Young Bay, Young L, showed me this book on Sufism, Sufi, and it took me. I was already practicing yoga, and I was already leaving my body and going to other planes and dimensions. But when I got hold to the Sufi literatures, it kind of made it where I'm seeing these other mystics that was doing stuff, and they was doing miracles. They was going to other dimensions, and I said, this fits me. Sufi, one who wears wool, right? And then I end up coming across through my good friend Mr. Fitzpatrick. He said, "Why don't you go sit down with the Wiccans?" And I said, "I'm gonna sit with them Europeans." You know what I'm saying? But then I said, you know what? I'm not gonna use skin color, because I might have to go sit with Native Americans. I may have to go sit with the Chinese or Koreans. I may have to sit with some Irish. I may have to sit with people of all races, because the body of a Tsar was cut into 14 pieces and scattered all around the world. And putting those pieces back together is the alchemy, right? So I got the skin color stuff out the way, because I know who I am. I know my roots. So I don't feel threatened. I didn't feel threatened to reach out, you know what I'm saying, and to other people to get the knowledge, and also form a universal family, right? And that's how the ancient people existed. They was able to travel. You may have a universal conference in the ancient world with temples and all that. You may see some druids over here, some Buddhist priests, some priests from Kemet, all in the same. You're like, wow, these different people, right? Because the Romans was going to be coming. You know, all these other people's going to come and decimate the knowledge. So everybody start pulling the knowledge together. So going back to me learning through the Wiccans about the making altar tables, ceremonial magic, witchcraft. Yes, I said witchcraft, craft of the wise. You know what I'm saying? And learning about things that I did not know, that colors had powers and all this other stuff, and getting hold to texts on Kemet that dealt with magic. It opened up another dimension for me, and it gave me another way of how to use this to fight, and not this. I done went decades without having to have to physically fight anybody. I had learned how to say a word, and the word would cause an ambulance to fall on somebody. Yeah. I was in LA, and somebody got ready to try to jack me. Yeah. They tried to jack me. I was on the train, and they got off the train to come on the train I was at, and I said one word, and their feet was stuck to the ground. Their feet was stuck to the platform. They couldn't even move until I safely got on the train, and the door closed. Snapped my finger, and they was able to move, but the train was already gone. So I learned dealing with different races of people and dealing with different religions and finding the magic that was hidden. It's how I've been able to move. I haven't even had to physically, but I ain't gonna say that I won't, because there's two things that when we dealing that we are at war. So there's a time to go to war. Understand? There's a time to go to war. That's why we do have ninjas. We are in alignment with the sun, moon, set, and some other things. But there's a time for peace and dancing and celebration. So we got to know when it's time for things. The old saying is to be ready for war at times of peace. So going back to the story, around 2000, I met Brother Charles X, and he was in the nation, but he was more in tune and lining up with the teachings of the 5%. So I was reading the 5% newspaper and stuff like that, and he was giving a body to my Sufism, meaning that Sufism can take you to other places, but if you don't put that arm head to Sufism, you could drift off into damn near Orthodox spookism. So he gave me the root of the Sufism, which was alchemy, and also the correlation with the Temple of Ptah and the Temple of Amun-Ra. And so the Nubian part, which I was already in tune with the Nubian, but I didn't fully claim it. I heard the word Nubian back in 92 in Detroit when I met a brother named Raheem. He was selling his literature, and he said he was the Nubian nation, but I never held on to that title. But in me lining up with Brother Charles X, we finally put the Nubian with the Sufi together, and that was the fusion. And when we put the Nubian with the Sufi together, that it was only after that time did I find out that and then we said this, the breakdown of Sufism was alchemy, which is the science of the black man. So once we found that out, that's what ended up lining me up with this Sufi master right here, Dual Noon. And we found out that he was an alchemist, he was a wizard, and some other stuff. And so this is the person, Dual Noon. He was a Nubian. They don't really have too much of a picture of him, but just Google this, y'all get a chance. And so our Pacific Sufi order, as Nubian Sufis, claim it's Sicily with Dual Noon. Now, I for some reason the lighting is not working, so you guys ain't really seeing anything that I want y'all to see. Y'all see that? Dual Noon. There you go. So Dual Noon, just look his name up. And so he dealt with the mastery of elements and things like that. And so when that Nubian Sufi took hold, the first thing I start teaching brothers is that we don't want to be like a lot of groups that talk knowledge all the time. Okay, we gods. Okay, that's cool. Could you show and prove that you gods? Could we show and prove that we gods? You know what I'm saying? We don't run around we gods and we can't even control and change the situation. You know what I'm saying? We can't even change the situations that we in. Right? And so like I was in the belly of the beast. You ain't gonna lie, I ain't ashamed to say it. Malcolm X wasn't ashamed to say it. I was in the belly of the beast when I was going through learning all this stuff, relearning myself. Because evidently, you know, I went to the Man March, I done did all that, I done, you know, spoke on podiums, but it didn't get that thugness out of me to prevent me from going out to Warner Jack and doing all this other stuff. It didn't stop that. So I still ended up hitting the beast. But it was through that going there is when I entered that university in the discipline. So yeah, it's a time where they was trying to say the brother could not go home. So he Brother Charles X, he did a Sufi spell. And they spit him out. The beast spit him out. You know what I'm saying? And then when it came my turn, they tried to, it was I done lost my father, my mother, because I was trying to wake brothers up and say, hey y'all, we got to do this right. We got to go back as businessmen. Cause I'm seeing 4 or 5 brothers, Moors, Nation, Christian. Our brothers they leaving and coming back 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? 3 strikes and out. And I did not know that I was a victim of the Clinton administration, because the Clinton administration had basically got all black people in the 90s to go vote for them. Hey, vote for us, I can play the saxophone. And then I'm going to make a crime bill. Hold up. So now you got black folks to go vote for you, then turn around and say you got a crime bill, and you're going to make an example so you can make yourself look good from the majority of the white establishment. Now you for putting niggas on a sacrificial altar and lock up as many black men as you can. And I did not know at the time that Hillary Clinton had called young black men super thugs. Right? So the Democratic Party get all our votes, then turn around and make crime bills to go after us. That's the treachery right there. And so I did not know I was being mixed into that politics. And I did not know only a few years before the beast grabbed me that the music industry that was owned by the European Jews had made a deal with prison corporations, corporations, white American corporations that own prisons, and I did not know that the National Security Agency was also there, and they made deals to come together and put out a type of music that will produce a criminalizing frequency that will basically help the corporate prison owners make billions, as well as push an agenda for the NSA, who are the grandchildren, basically the grandchildren of the Richard Nixon deal with Kissinger. Because everybody know in 1971, to go after black America and go after the hippie movement, Kissinger and former President Nixon, they put out an agenda to criminalize or to make criminalized black America. And this will be the introduction of heroin and the pimp movement and all this other stuff to direct the black power thing that was going on. So I did not know that all that was happening that would bring about mass incarceration, because I was out there protesting, and I'm 18 years old protesting. I was out 18 years old protesting. I was on television. I was on the radio. And I was the Black Messiah. Just want to give y'all some hint. I was the Black Messiah. I was a Black Messiah starting in 1994, because I was in Milwaukee, and I got hold to a book by Albert Cleese Jr. It was called The Black Messiah. And during that time, people was drawing pictures of Jesus with dreadlocks. Yep. They was drawing pictures of Jesus with dreadlocks. And I had a picture of a black Jesus with in my wall. My father hated it because he had the white Jesus downstairs. And so I go upstairs and my black Jesus was ripped off the wall. This is in the 90s. And I was like, the black man is God. I had my little brothers and sisters saying, the black man is God. And that kind of made my dad ticked off. But I was already doing just a tiny bit of what I'm doing right now. And I was in the studio, I was making music, and I was on my way to being known. And this is the main heart of what's going on, just to give y'all history. So I was in the process of becoming known. And I was on my process of what we say, that rise as the Black Messiah. I was in that process of coming out as the Black Messiah. And so I was performing in Milwaukee. I was performing in St. Louis as the Black Messiah in the 90s. But it was only until I actually saw this book right here. Show you this book. I think y'all should be able to see it. And I saw this book. I was Cat Mike X at first. For those that's in Milwaukee, they still know me as Cat Mike X. But in 1994, from 1993, and then it became 1994. And this is during the time Ice Cube was out. They had the lynch mob. Public Enemy was still hot in the music industry. The deal that went on, the gangster rap did not all the way take over yet. So 1994, I saw this book right here, and I became the Black Messiah. And I was just about to start pushing music out during that time period. My mother supported me. My father supported. Family was kind of up in the air because they didn't understand what I was talking about, like my uncle. I love him, my uncle Joseph. Or I call him JoJo in Flint. He said, "We kings and queens, then where's our pot of gold at then?" You know what I'm saying? And I said that to him a couple weeks ago. He said, "You still remember that?" Yeah, yeah. Because I used to have a black kufi, all black boots, and I looked the same way that I look right now. If I was to go back in time, my family members would know the difference between me and myself at 18 or 19. They wouldn't know me. So I've been a teenager in this. You know what I'm saying? Like the old head said, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. And there's a newspaper article of me speaking at a conference at 18 years old. And they was running it all across Milwaukee with me speaking about black men getting incarcerated and genocide. So I was speaking on things that I did not know that the beast was going to line up for me to enter. You know what I'm saying? So I had got ready to do one of my last shows before I went to the Million Man March. Before I went to the Million Man March in '95, there was a thing going on, Afro Fest at the time going on in Milwaukee, and KRS-One had came to Milwaukee. And so I had met KRS-One. I met KRS-One, and I met him in Milwaukee. And he said, hey, he was with Channel Live, and I gave him a flyer. And my flyer had said the Black Messiah on it. And I gave him a flyer, and he looked at it, and he said, hey, you want to get up here and perform with me in Channel Live? And this is when KRS-One, if anybody remember, and this could be verified so people can talk jiggle jaggle and all that stuff, but I'm letting you know that I can show and prove who I am. I don't know about nobody else showing and prove who they are, but so KRS-One, he was in Milwaukee with Channel Live, and during that time period, 1990, was it 94? It was going into 95 because the Million Man March is right around the corner. And the gods or the MCs that was there, I went to go say, hey, I'm gonna get up on the stage with KRS-One. And I was, I'm young and teenager. Yeah, we start freestyling and battling instead of me focusing my mind on getting back, staying up there with KRS-One. And by the time I got ready to go on the stage, I got ready to go on stage, big ass Debo type of bodyguard was like this. No, you can't get up there. He didn't tell me nothing. I'm like, I missed my damn chance. But I still continued as the Black Messiah performing in Chicago. This is after, I think it was after the or was it before the Million Man March? But the Black Messiah thing was carried on even up to the time that I was set up by the FBI. Now I'm just letting y'all know because I am going to be suing they draws off, but I was set up by the FBI, and that's what caused me to go to the beast. Because I had just joined the Black Panther Party. I met Bobby Seale at St. Louis University in 1995. I had already came back from the Million Man March. I met Bobby Seale, took a picture with him, and I met the Black Panthers that was forming in St. Louis. I joined the Black Panthers that was forming in St. Louis, and not even a couple of weeks after me joining the Black Panthers, I had got set up by the FBI, and that's what landed me in the belly of the beast. And so, that's one of the reasons that I will be taking care of some issues. I have since I have voted. I had been on different political presidential campaigns, and California has a beautiful system. You know what I'm saying, that I love, a beautiful system that deals with, unlawfully or basically if you've been basically, especially dealing with the U.S. government, because we know that we have found out recently how the FBI and the police department came together to cause the assassination of Minister Malcolm X. And a lot of times the news is putting out that it was brothers in the Nation of Islam that did that, and 2 brothers was locked up from Nation Islam or affiliated with the Nation Islam, but it was really FBI agents and police officers that did that assassination. And so now we got stuff like that I'm going to be utilizing, because I am, regardless of what I had went through, I'm running for a senator of California, and I'm even been told that I still could do so. And so a lot of things that has been done, the injustices that has been done against me and done to other black leaders, there's a retribution coming. And that is the reason why we go into the COINTELPRO operation of J. Edgar Hoover, when he said that he would do whatever he can do to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. To stop the rise of the Black Messiah. Right? So the stopping the rise of the Black Messiah means mass incarceration of black men. Stopping the rise of the Black Messiah means to put guns into our community, to flood St. Louis inner cities with guns, with unmarked guns. Where these guns coming from? They coming from the police. They coming from cartels. Why are they letting guns? Why are these presidents that say they want to make a law, or they want to make a war on crime? They're not making a war on the police and on the cartels, or making a war on the police directly for putting the guns into our inner cities, into the hands of our young youth. You know what I'm saying? To put guns into the hands of our youth in Chicago, in our hands of our youth in Detroit, in the hands of our youth in Atlanta, in Detroit, in Compton, in Bronx, and all them other areas, in Atlanta, in Cleveland, that they are putting guns into our community so they could stop the rise of the Black Messiah by using our own hands, through our own hands. And then the biggest wickedness of these damn devils is that they're making money off of our imprisonments, and they're making money off our deaths. I was told that now they're making $3,000 a day off of people being in prison. And also, when you look at these young men that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old that are getting killed in the streets, what do you think they're going to do to their livers? What do you think they're going to do to their lungs? What do you think they're going to do to their hearts and their kidneys, their eyeballs, their testicles, and anything else that they can utilize, their bone marrows, right? They're going to have it where hospitals are going to say to people, if you want to get this eyeball, if you want to go get this kidney, you need $30,000 to $40,000 worth of insurance. Why? It's because they're selling these kidneys of black people that's been murdered in the streets by their own hands because they've been hypnotized by the ISFET frequencies. That they're selling your liver and your lung for $30,000. They're selling your kidney for $40,000. They're selling your eyeballs for $20,000. So they're making money off of your imprisonment, and they're making money off of your death, right? And so the stopping the rise of the Black Messiah, is also a theme where we saw them go after Martin Luther King, even down in South Africa with Steve Biko. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find the rise, to stop the rise. So I want you to understand that A lot of you who are not black and you're from other races of people, and you say to yourself, why do you always got to talk about what somebody's doing to black people? Black people need to get over it. They need to get over it and stop keep on talking about that stuff. That's of the past. Black people got freedom. There's black celebrities. You know what I'm saying? There's been black celebrities and black people with money, you know what I'm saying, for 100 years. But that don't stop those elites who are eugenicists that are in our government from keep on trying to find ways to still get rid of black people. That doesn't stop the fact that there's government agencies that have been involved with genocide plots. When you look at like last night, there was a white man in a truck. He was on the north side, right? And I had the windows down in the car. He saw me and started letting some smoke come from his truck. And it was one of them city trucks, like one of them looked like it could have been a city truck. No, I rolled my window up. Why are you gonna wait till I pull up right by you and you pull up by me, and all of a sudden you start letting a mysterious smoke come out of your car? Now you ain't gonna poison me, kill me off. So I know you're an agent. I know they sent you to the community to let go all this fumes so it could do something to the mental of the people. And this is what old heads used to have stories that their mamas and daddies told them to stop running behind these trucks. So there used to be trucks coming to the inner cities and they let chemicals come out. There's government documents in St. Louis itself in the 1950s how they used to purposely go into the communities and let type of this mysterious fumes that could have been any type of biological agent, a biological mental disorder agent put into the community. When we reading about the Planned Parenthood with Morgan Singer created, and we found out that there was 40,000 black baby abortions from 1972 to 2012. 40,000 black baby abortions. Genocide on the level of the Native American genocide. When we look at the government's involvement with because there's some other stuff that's coming to mind. It'll come back to me, but it's been direct involvements with the government in regards to finding out ways to do whatever it could, redlining the communities. When you redline a community, it's giving off a signal to banks that don't loan no money because they can't afford the rates, or telling the police, giving off signals to the police that really hostile environment, so be more aggressive than you would if you were in a litty neighborhood. And so there's been all type of wrong things that's been done. And when we existed after Reconstruction in a form where we was going out building our own towns, we didn't have to go for that, and we were Republicans when we was doing that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand what's really going on. So for you who are not black, you may be Asian, you may be white, you may be Latino, you may be something else, but you must understand that for 100 years and counting, there's been plots to wipe out the original people of this country. Relentless attacks that are basically lined up to make us the next Tasmanians. If you understand that the Tasmanian people were wiped out, these are the black people that's on that little island right there next to Australia. They was wiped out. Now when you Google Tasmania, it's just white people there. They wiped out a whole people. And we could be dancing, I'm gonna be dancing, and even while I'm dancing, they're plotting to wipe out my sons, who's not even here yet. They're here to wipe out my daughters that's not even here yet. So you have to go to your government and say, why are you trying to wipe out black people? Don't come to us who's speaking against that. Just like you would not go to the Native American people who's speaking against that. What's happening to them? Or you wouldn't go against these people, right? So we dealing with this, the stopping the rise of the Black Messiah. The stopping the rise. I'm trying to actually see it because it's in here. But J. Edgar Hoover basically created this thing around 1970. So he didn't pass away to he didn't pass away to 1971. So here's basically to stop the rise of a Messiah that will electrify the masses. And I'm actually was trying to find the exact quote, but I don't see the exact quote right here. So I'm not able to. I'm not seeing it right now. And so this Messiah manifested, or this Black Messiah manifested as the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. on a Christian level, and manifested on Malcolm X on a Muslim level, manifested also in South Africa, Steve Biko. If anybody's familiar with Steve Biko, who promoted black consciousness, he was actually out before Nelson Mandela. He was out before Nelson Mandela, if I'm correct. I had to double check, but they was in the same type of era, because Nelson Mandela, he went to prison. It was 28 years. So Steve Biko was stopped by the police. He went out. He saw his wife one last time. He was stopped by the police, and they killed him. And they killed him in the jail. And so the stopping the rise of the Black Messiah is likened to someone killing a rooster. Why would you go kill a rooster? The rooster's job, the nature of the rooster is to do what? Wake the people up, right? Wake everybody up. And so you have those who don't want the people woke up. As I've been said to you, that for 500 years, the black planet has been asleep. A lot of people that's in the Hebrew Israelite circle say that, and I'm not dissing the Hebrew Israelite circle, because I was amongst that. I was a Hebrew Israelite at one time, put it like that. And I still share in the teachings of Black Israel and the chosen people. I still share those tenets, but I don't share the tenets of black people being cursed. We're not cursed. We're not cursed because we God. Why would we curse ourselves? If anything, we're gonna curse our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? We had went to sleep because we ruled the planet as gods and goddesses, and we had a telekinetic stronghold over the planets, right? A lot of my friends of other races, they feeling kind of uneasy. But if you're gonna be my friend, then you can't be my friend and only my friends, my real friends, say that the black man is God, no matter what race they are. And if you understand, when you think about the ancient gods of Kemet, what color were they? The ancient gods of Sumer, what color were they? They were not white, huh? So, the black people ruled the planet Earth as gods. That's point blank. And we ruled the Earth as gods. We ruled it. We didn't rule it with military might. We used it with Heka, or what is commonly called magic, or telekinetic and telepathic powers. And so we wanted to let the planet get some rest. Now that's where I do line in with the Hebrews, like when they say that the God did his thing for 6 days. On the seventh day he rests. So we talking about like 6,500 years. You know what I'm saying? We talking about that time, and then we rested. You know what I'm saying? That 500 will make 7,000. So 6,500 years we do our thing as the Elohim, as the Nunaki, as the Netu of the planet Earth, and then for 500 years, we go ahead and rest. And that's that 7,000. So that's that Sabbath. So, I mean, just because this white world won't show you that we was the ones who were ruling everything first, don't mean it ain't true. But they have been showing you who God is. But a lot of you have closed your eyes. They showed you on Bruce Almighty that the black man was God. They got Morgan Freeman. You know what I'm saying? They showed you on that movie, that little show they used to come on called Lucifer. And they got the black dude saying, that's all Steve, Stan. But some of y'all just don't believe fat meat is greasy. Right? Some of y'all don't believe fat meat is greasy. So I'm going to have to go and show you what I'm talking about. Because y'all like, I don't know what you're talking about. Woo, boo-boo. You know, like I'm talking Greek or something to you. All right, so I said if Hollywood can, Hollywood didn't have no problem. You didn't have no problem when Hollywood showed you. You didn't have no problem when Hollywood showed you Morgan Freeman is God. Right? So even Hollywood know deeply that the black man is God. You know? Look at that. Hollywood know that the black man is God. Why don't you? Why don't you know and recognize? Right? So, the job to stop the rise of the black Messiah is to stop that rooster from waking up the God, the real God that is in the people, right? The real God, that real black essence that eternal essence that is in the people. That Amun-Ra that is in the people. You know what I'm saying? That is the whole thing, right? So this COINTELPRO document that was released in 1970, it says, I found a Black Messiah piece. It says, I'm just going to read a little bit of it. It says, number one, prevent the coalition of black nationalist groups. In unity, there is strength. You hear that? In unity, there is strength. Now, you see how the Willie Lynch ideology came into this? So it says, prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups. In unity, there is strength. A truism there is no less valid for all its triteness. An effective coalition of black nationalist groups might be the first step toward a real mama in America, the beginning of a true black revolution. This is coming from J. Edgar Hoover, head of the then FBI, which is a U.S. government entity, and black people at that time period was paying taxes to a government that allowed an entity like this to exist, to be against them, right? Number two, prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. Might have been such a I think they mentioned Martin Luther King, but it's scratched out right here. Might have been such a Messiah. He is the mater of the movement today. So I think they mentioned Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, but the names are scratched out. But I think they mentioned Elijah Muhammad, but they said his age. He was too young. So, too old. But brothers in the Nation of Islam, they would tell you that Elijah Muhammad is the Messiah, and I respect that for the brothers in the Nation of Islam. I'm not going to knock them. I respect them, and they say that Elijah Muhammad is the Messiah or the Black Messiah. Just like I would respect the Rastafarian brothers who would say Haile Selassie is the Black Messiah or the Messiah for them, right? I respect that. And the reason why I respect that, because the science of this Messiah goes beyond him, and even goes beyond me. In ancient Kemet, the Messiah is Hebrew for anointed. In the Greek, the Christ and Messiah is the same thing, but see, the origin is the Kemetic principle is caressed, right? So it's really this caressed is what we're talking about, this caressed principle. Now some say this is Heru, it's different interpretation. That's a remarkable thing, because I'm gonna let y'all know, back in the 90s, when I first became the Black Messiah, I was my Kemetic name in the 90s was Heru. That was my name, Heru, back in the 90s. And when I found Sufism, Heru became Esau, right? Heru, I just saying it over again, Heru became Esau. So y'all can understand what's really going on. So right here, you see it says Heru, it says Karas, and then you got the picture of Heru right there. I know y'all can barely see it because of the lighting and whatnot. My apologies. But you see the name Heru right there. Y'all can see that. So that's what I used to be known as. I was known as Heru back in the 90s. And I was Heru, but my stage name was the Black Messiah. So the Karas principle is that indwelling principle that manifested in certain individuals, sort of like the force of Star Wars. So either you got this power, or I ain't gonna say you don't got it, but you don't got it. You got power, but you don't got power, right? And it ain't got nothing to do with how handsome you look. You don't how big muscles you got, how much money you got in the bank. It all means your spiritual evolution, right? And so you have a circle of men, right? And you have a circle of women, right? And they all tap into their ability as gods and goddesses. But it's only a few of them that's gonna crack that atom of omnipotence and actually become Pharaoh, right? Meaning God King. There is only going to be those who are going to actually evolve into a supreme being type of individual. So the Karas principle, that principle that's within us, is what brings out our royalty as gods and goddesses, right? That's what brings out this person being raw from this person just being, let me find a minor deity like mean, or, you know what I'm saying? Or just Tahuti, which Tahuti, he's cool, but Ra is the supreme. So the Pharaoh is where the actual concept of Christ came from. So when they said that Yahshua was a Christ or the Messiah, they was actually saying that the Yahshua of 2,000 years ago, he was up in line to be the next Pharaoh. He was a black Egyptian. Now, when I say Jew, I don't want y'all to misunderstand. I'm not talking about the people in Europe. I'm talking about coming from the tribe of Judah. Jew come from the word Yehudi. You know what I'm saying? So I consider myself I'm a Nubian Sufi, but I consider myself a Jew as in Yehudi, meaning that I'm from the tribe of Yehuda, Yehuda, the lion tribe. You know what I'm saying? So he was a black Egyptian Jew or a Nubian Hebrew. You want to use that terminology. You know what I'm saying? And he was in the lineage of the pharaohs. Now, it feels strange for me to say he, because to me, I'm talking about me when I say he. Because me coming into being a black Messiah and then coming into being Esau, I was told by that Esau that I am him, but as an avatar. Right? And so my communication with that Yahshua was that I'm his avatar in this time. So that Yahshua kicked off the age of the Pisces 2,000 years ago. This Yahshua that's talking to you is kicking off the age of Aquarius. Right? So there's going to be basically that's why we talk about Venice Beach all the time. Because if you look at Venice Beach, it's almost a duplicate of Galilee. The whole setup is the same. And St. Louis is another incarnation, is a reincarnation of Nazareth, right? But I'm being put in a position where I can conquer Nazareth, where the Nazareth of 2,000 years ago was not conquered, it was skipped over, because they said a prophet is not without honor in his own home, in his own town. So now I'm given the juice to conquer this Nazareth, which is my hometown, St. Louis, and then we can go to Nazareth. We can leave Nazareth and go to Galilee, and Galilee is Venice. I hope y'all understanding that the dynamics of what's going on. So the Carras in South Central Los Angeles, I was a part of a community, and I'm still a part of the community. It's called the Carras Unity Center, the Carras Unity Center of African Spirituality, and they teach about the Carras that is within us. That Carras is the same as the Al-Nur that's in the 99 names. The Al-Nur means the light, but the light is the sun, and that sun is 93 million miles away. So that Carras that's within us is that light. When I was speaking with Brother Fitzpatrick back in the 90s, he was saying that the man Jesus was just a hunk of flesh. It was the Christ that was in him that was omnipotent and immortal. So that Christ that is within us is the power that is going to give us to work the miracles. But if you keep on looking for somebody to come down out the sky with blonde hair, you're going to be 20 years old, going on 60 years old, and dying, waiting with your finger up in the air. The Christ that's within us is what gives us the power to walk on water. That Christ that is within us is going to give us the power to raise the dead, to heal the blind, to make the dumb speak and the deaf hear, to get rid of diseases, even this virus that's out here. We have the power with that Christ that's within us to speak that virus out of existence. But see, they want you to take the mark of the beast. So when you try to tap into that power, it's going to be a conflict with the power of God that's within you, with the mark of the beast that's on you. All right. And every time I speak about that, I get crucified. I get crucified by YouTube. I get crucified by Facebook. I get crucified. Get my channels taken down. We got sermons that got taken down. And so we are launching a $100 million lawsuit against YouTube. I'm just letting you know. So just to let you know, there is that power that is within you, that Christ or that Carras that is within you, and that goes all the way back to that I, self, Lord, and Master. It goes all the way back to that, because that Carras, one of the symbols for the Carras is like a mummy, and so we understand that the mummy or that Sahu and Kemet is symbolic of, or is connected to the cocoon. You understand that before we get knowledge of self and who we are, we're ignorant, and we're shackled to the laws of physics and gravity. We can't fly, right? But when we get knowledge of self, it creates a mental cocoon around our body. Our aura becomes a cocoon. It becomes a hardened shell, and then it breaks, and we got wings, right? We super fly, like JJ. You see what I'm saying? We fly like Mike and Nikes. You know what I'm saying? That butterfly. When you have dreams that you can fly, you can fly. Superman is not a myth. It's not fiction. That's real science that's related to you once you understand that I, self, Lord, and Master. Right? Once you understand or overstand I, self, Lord, Master, and arm, legum, arm, head. That's your true self. But we say Amen Ra, the Nubian Sufis, because we say Amen because Amen represents their hidden nature, their hidden divinity, until you're ready to make it Ra, which is manifest. right? I want to let y'all know before I lose track that I will. I want to promote Brothers in the Nation of Islam. They got an event coming up. I went to the mosque today, and I just want to let y'all know that it's a lot of positive things about to happen. Nothing but positive things about to happen today for the people. So, we're going to be in film production of The Black Godfather St. Louis in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be looking for actors. We're going to be doing auditions. We're going to be working with Monica Butler, a black sister that she got her own production, so I ain't got to do nothing but read my lines. I'm going to reach out to Tretch and Naughty by Nature because I want Tretch to play this role, Blackstone. I'm going to be reaching out to some other individuals. I'm going to be reaching out to Eminem. There's a role that I want Eminem to play in the movie. I'm just name dropping just a few people that I'm gonna be reaching out to. That's gonna be a part of the project. And then while we're filming the movie, we're gonna be doing the Black Messiah versus the Mark of the Beast tour. So I have been going through a lot of censorship dealing with social media, and I used social media at the time because I didn't have the funds to really go on television or go on the radio. That's coming to an end in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be on every television broadcast that I can that the money of the empire can pay to get on, right? So we're going to be on. So all this censorship of me getting my videos taken down or whatever the case, that's coming to an end because I'm going to be on the television production. Television, we're going to be buying television space up. We're going to be buying radio space. All these rappers with these dresses. We cutting these rappers with these dresses off the radio. We cutting these rappers that's on the videos showing themselves pregnant. The Black Messiah is going to be running them off the stage. And to any of my family members that and all my friends and all that and stuff, we're not going to, that's in St. Louis, we're not going to be tolerating nobody coming to St. Louis with no dresses on and rapping. We're not going to be tolerating nobody coming to Detroit and all the other cities because this is the reign of the Black Messiah. 2020 is the time of the Black Messiah. So we're going to be on the radio, we're going to be on the television, we're going to be getting all the exposure and none censored. Nothing's going to be censored. You're not going to censor. You're not going to take our money and try to censor us. And we're not even worrying about them taking our money because we this is the time now, family, that we all put our money together and buy big chunks of satellite time. We could buy big chunks of broadcast time. We could buy big chunks of radio time. Stuff they were trying to pull with Minister Louis Farrakhan, how they try to stop him from going on there and making his speech. Look, P. Diddy said, "Come on my station, on my channel." You know what I'm saying? So, the beast cannot stop the revolution, right? And in the 60s, they said that the revolution won't be televised, but that was for the 60s. You know what I'm saying? So, we're also going to be, like in this tour, we're going to be looking for dancers. So I'm going to be having ads on Craigslist for people that can pop lock, that can do tough dances, because we got some music for y'all. We want to see if y'all can jam off some of the music. We want to see if y'all can get down and jam off let me drop some for y'all real fast. This is coming from the Ghetto Rise of the Black Messiah. So we want to see if we can get some people that can go on the stage, because I'm performing this Saturday in St. Louis. I'm performing on Saturday at the Juneteenth on Maffitt. Yeah, I'm performing on. I'm not gonna add all this stuff on this video because y'all be going on all day. But I'm gonna be performing at the Juneteenth Sabier on Maffitt. I don't got the address for it, but I had it, but I don't find it. I had to go through all this to go to my phone. So I'm gonna go get the address where I'm gonna be performing at. See if I can get the address real fast for y'all. All right. Get these announcements out. So I'm going to be at Maffitt. I'm going to Sabier Juneteenth celebration, Our New Black World, Saturday, June 18, 2022, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., 4000 Maffitt Ave, St. Louis, MO 63113. So this is where I'm going to be performing at this Saturday, the Black Messiah, 15-minute slot, and I may have some of my products with me. We're trying to get these products from Ghana. We're kind of late on our products from Ghana because the Ghana products is what we really need, and we're kind of late on that. So prayerfully we'll have the products from Ghana so we can get the order in. Wait on this extra little chunk change, we waiting on something to come from the Royal Treasury. So waiting on this money to come from the Royal Treasury, and then we're gonna have our products from Ghana. But we got right now for y'all. If y'all happen to be in St. Louis, we got these UTVA flags for you, and we got these flags for you right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's on like a pot of neck bone. Put that red, white, and blue down, cause you ain't getting no justice under it since it's been waving. Get this right here. This is our flag right here, y'all. So we got these right here coming through. We got some of these. I got to put an order in tomorrow. King and Queen. I just found out about them recently because we was trying to look for where they was at. But we got some of these, and we got some more stuff on deck. But for right now, I'm going to be performing at here. And then I'm going to be at I'm going to be performing here and at Natural Bridge. The next day, I'm going to be at the Fairground Park. They got an event, and I'm going to have a table out. And so, y'all come out. Don't just say Black Power, and don't come with any green in your hand, right? You see this flag right here? You see the blood that we shed, and we still here, right? You see the black, this is us, right? You see that green? That represents economics and resources. So don't put this in the air, and you ain't got none of this in your hand, right? Don't do that. And a lot of times we don't understand what it is to build a nation, right? We had a good radio show, right? But it costs cash rule to keep it going, right? But we giving a good content. We already got 3 houses in Venice right now, ready for us. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't even spoke to y'all about the apartment complexes that I set my eyes on a few years back. That can be a whole community of people living in an apartment complex, and we can condo them bad boys out. I haven't even mentioned to y'all about the land, the beachfront property on the beachfront land, the land that's from LA to Santa Barbara, where we can actually set up our own Wakanda. I haven't even mentioned with our connection in Arizona with the Aru community, and they got some land for us. I haven't even mentioned the land that we got available for us in Nigeria, the land that we got available for us in Ghana, the land that we got available for us in Guyana, South America, with the Nubian Sufis in all those areas. You know what I'm saying? But we need you to do this. We need you to do this and not just this, right? We don't want no Facebook likes. Could you take a Facebook like and put it in the gas tank? If you could do that, you're a bad boy. You're a bad girl. You stone cold. If you could take a Facebook like and put it in your gas tank, you done solve the gas problem in the country, right? But we can't put a Facebook like. We can't put an Instagram tweet. We can't put none of that in the gas tank. We need that cash rule, y'all. So come on down to and support my black business. I ain't gonna just say support black businesses and it's 10 black businesses and you skip over my table. I'm gonna say come and support my black business, because we're gonna have these ready for you. We gotta come and spread it. We got I'm a carpenter. I got my white homie Bob. He makes these. I make them. I gotta go get some more tools so I can be more in depth and getting them out myself as well. like I want to. But we got these unks right here. We're gonna be selling these unks. We got this, and we got the unk stands representing life. And I'm thinking about going ahead and go get some extra kufis and put some kufis on the table. You know what I'm saying? I might go down and go grab about 10 kufis tomorrow and sell those on the table. You know what I'm saying? So look, family, support this, what we're doing, because look, if you're from St. Louis and you're not supporting what I'm talking about, I got a movie, The Black Godfather of St. Louis, which we're talking about bringing millions of dollars back to St. Louis and putting it into us buying up the communities, putting it into us buying up our buildings and these black businesses, help them pay their rents off or their leases off for 12 months in advance. Because gentrification is coming in and tearing up black businesses in St. Louis, eating them up and spitting them out in Cincinnati, in Chicago, because we are living month to month with our finances. We need to be able to take we need to take like $20,000. If we're gonna open up a building, a store, or whatever, we need to take $20,000 and put it for the lease, and make an agreement that we're doing it to rent to own it, not so you can get all our money and then kick us out the door, right? The gentrification can only come to an end if we start to pay things in advance and get in the process of ownership, right? And we Nubian Sufis, we the Nubian Sufi empire gods and goddesses. We're not just spiritual mystics. We're not just wizards and witches. You know, we're not just high-level scientists, but we are also business men and business women of God, right? And our business is to build New Jerusalem, right? That's what our business is. Our business is to build New Jerusalem. Who's hitting me up all of a sudden? Yeah, I don't need nobody hitting me up. Hey, y'all, don't hit me up when I'm doing my thing. Go hit somebody else up, all right? Sending me messages. So, the 19th of June, I'm going to be at Fairground Park, and there's a possibility, I don't want to say yeah or nay yet, there's a possibility that I may, in the whole Nubian Center Records crew and the Nubian Sufis with our tables, because how we going to be doing things, I do a show and we got the table set out, right? So we got the show and the tables, the show and the vending tables. That's how we doing it. And when we hit Venice, we're going to have like a whole, we're going to have like 10 tables or 10 to 20 tables of Nubian Sufis with products. Let me go back to Saturday before I go to the 19th. I almost left the Brother of the Nation Islam out. So the Brother of the Nation Islam hit me up, Brother Sharif. And so I just said Saturday I'm going to be performing at Maffitt, right? So there's supposed to be a minister in the Nation of Islam that's going to be coming to St. Louis the same day that I perform. So I perform at Fairground Park, 6 o'clock that evening. It's going to be a brother. His name is at Muhammad Mosque. Y'all, Muhammad Mosque. Muhammad Mosque presents. Y'all can look at the flyer. The confirmation of Revelation, and it's going to be a local fundraising dinner that goes back to the green power, right? Y'all going to Walmart, spending hundreds of dollars in Walmart, the company that we don't own. You know what I'm saying? Or no matter what race or color you are, you going up there and spend, you don't profit off of it. It's going to it's going to the Walmart family, right? So look at this. A local fundraiser, a fundraiser dinner. The guest speaker, student minister, Dimitri Muhammad, Nation of Islam Research Team. Now this brother right here is a brother that we really need to listen to, because he's doing research, and the research could be knowledge on them shots, whatever it could be. And so this brother right here, we want to be able to support. So if you're in the Nation of Islam, brothers, and y'all didn't know about this, this is the number right here. This is the St. Louis number. The number is 314-361-45555. Right here. That's it right there. The brother right here, they're going to be in St. Louis on the 18th, So y'all come and check me out first. If you're in St. Louis, come show the Black Messiah love, right? Come show up at 1 o'clock at Maffitt. Come show me love first. And then at 6 o'clock, y'all can slide to the mosque, you know what I'm saying, and get it on. I'm going to be having some brothers. I'm going to have brothers in the Nation of Islam. FOY, I'm going to have FOY doing security for me at the movie production and for these tours. And this is a song right here that I actually mentioned the FOI in twice. Anybody know this song right here? This is on the Ghetto Rise of the Black Messiah.
Saw the Black Messiah, old school B-boy, set the mic on fire. The God body rocks your party like Lottie. The God body rocks your party like Lottie. Who's praised Esau, the Black Messiah, old school B-boy, set the mic on fire. The God body rocks your party like Lottie. The God body rocks your party like Lottie. The God body rocks your party like Lottie.
Pat him down like FOI.
Got a shotty.
Hang him out the window like red to hurt about it. Peace to my Detroit guys, what's up, Lordy? St. Louis, put sit down and watch the clown. Peace to Memphis, Chi-Town, and Boogie Down. Long Beach to Venice Beach, that we inspire. Beach buddies, ass on soul, telling me tired. Computer imagery, gadgets, live wires. My cipher, got the rise, pill on my guy. Which was the Michael Knight, which is night rider. Strange shit in city like Haitian white societies.
Old school B-boy, set the mic on fire. The God body rocks your party like Lottie. The God body rocks your party like Lottie. Who's pressed Esau, the Black Messiah? Old school B-boy, set the mic on fire. The God body rocks your party like Lottie. The God body rocks your party like Lottie.
Y'all gonna have to buy the album. Y'all gonna have to buy the album coming out July the 4th. It's coming out on TuneCore. It's a classic, but we also going to be releasing it through Real Hawk Records / Universal. So that's going to be a goodie. So now we're going to hop to June 19th, which is going to be Sunday, right? It's going to be Sunday. Make sure I'm right about what I said. Yes, sir. Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. It's going to be Sunday. So I'm going to be having a table. I'm going to be at Maffitt. And like I said, we're going to have the unks ready. We're going to be having, I'm going to go ahead and go buy some extra kufi set up. And I'm talking with some brothers of the nation because I want to get some bean pies. Who likes bean pies? So I might have some bean pies on the table. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Don't go to Ben and Jerry's. Come to my table, get a bean pie. We're going to throw some bean pies in there. And like I said, we're going to have the flags. And we're going to have some Bling King. We're going to have some good stuff. And also, for those that's in St. Louis, we're going to be having some of these printouts of this knowledge right here so y'all can get some knowledge. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be $1 though. And you just going to go get my knowledge and walk away. But that's good for $1. You know what I'm saying? $1, actually $2. Actually $2 because I got to make sure that the ministry get fed right. All right. So, you know, this is what we're doing starting from St. Louis all the way to Venice and around the world. So some of you like, man, that's messed up, man. You giving all that good stuff to St. Louis. But when we come and do our film production, in your city, and we happen to be in your city, we got 5 cities to hit up. We got Chicago, Atlanta, New York, LA, and then we gotta go to Accra and meet the chief, because the chief is the one who be hooking us up with this. That's why I was saying we waiting on the funds to come from the Royal Treasury right now, because we kind of behind on getting this right here. This is antiviral right here, but y'all want to look at it right here. There you go, right there. So we're gonna have basically the music. I'm gonna rock the mic, It may be I may have a soul sister, neo soul sister, get up there and she sing la 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 la. May have a brother do some spoken word, some tongue twisting spoken word type of stuff. We are gonna be working with the brother 16 Bars. If anybody knows 16 Bars in St. Louis, and we also gonna be having a brother Khalil, who's known as a twisted poet. You know, and that's just a few people we got back in contact with. Ivy. So it's a people that we're gonna be bringing in that's gonna be doing singing, that's gonna be doing spoken word, and then while they doing that, we're gonna have our tables. So if we in your city doing a production, and the next day or two, we'll have the tables out, or we may just have the tables. It just depending on what the location is. We'll have the tables out when we do the music part. And we also, Nubian Center Records, we got a booker we're working with, Nice and Loud Records now. So now that we working with Nice and Loud Records, they're gonna be booking your boy for some big shows now. So, you know, and I'm talking about stacks. You know what I'm saying? And I think I deserve to make stacks a show all the years that I've been rapping for free, right? I rap for free because I love it, right? I never rap for free because I wanted to rap for free. I wouldn't mind doing the rapping and singing and dancing and don't have to go to the warehouse and work like a Hebrew slave. You know what I'm saying? Or lose my apartment because I lose my job. Now I got to sleep on somebody's couch. I'd rather me be able to perform and do my music, right? And still be able to keep me a palace and the chariot out and parked outside, right? And that's why I'm glad that we got hooked up with Nice and Loud, because they giving us the top. We did shows say, hey Esau, could you go get this show, do this show, bring back $5,000, give us up, we get our percent off the top. You know what I'm saying? Or go do this show, get 10 stacks. You know what I'm saying? Because now we can see our brothers and sisters. Because I be going when I go to these different temp jobs or these other. I was going to little colleges, community colleges, and it'd be so many people, young people, older people with talent, and it never get heard because they stuck there, and they made the music game cost enough to, you got to basically have house buying money to get into the music game or to get into the film game. So I'm glad we got this opportunity, because now I can go sign brothers and sisters up on the Nubian City Records as musicians and artists. I can go get individuals and get them into Nubian Alchemy Films, and I can get them where now we can take that money and bless them, or we can get them booked for a show. Let them make $15,000 a show. Let her make about $5,000 a show. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that we ask is when we bring you on, you don't got no job except for the empire. We're not gonna be wrestling with you between no job. Oh man, I'm interested in it, man. I'm thinking about what y'all talking about. Like this one dude, I was on the phone talking, making a business deal. He was ear hustling. He came back to me on lunch break. Hey man, I heard you into the music. Yeah, I'm into music too. Okay, cool. All right, look, text me email address, and I'm gonna see you some beats. Go and make these beats, and we're gonna put this album together. Text it to me when you get home. I see him at work. He like, that you can text it to me. Oh man, I had to chill out, man. I had to, wind down and all that. All right, next day, you get it to me yet? Oh man, I like to do things on the weekend. Like, man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with opportunity, you don't tell opportunity to wait till tomorrow. You don't tell opportunity to wait the next week. For all you know, I could have been asking for a beat from Usher. Usher could have said, producer, I'll pay him $30,000. You know what I'm saying? But see, people want opportunity on their time. If I hear opportunity, I'm jumping on it right then and there if somebody bring me an opportunity, right? So we don't want to deal with nobody that doesn't want to basically take out the time to invest their time in the opportunity. And we don't want to deal with nobody that's going to say, man, I want to go on tour, but I got this job, man. Let me see if I get a day off or a couple of days off in about another month. I mean, we're not going to wait on you. Just like the Jesus of 2,000 years ago, I'm saying to brothers, drop your nets and I'm going to make you fishers of men. Not meaning in no sexual way. I'm talking about fishers of minds. Drop your nets. You want to do labor work? You want to work at a warehouse and break your back? you know what I'm saying, and get fired and don't have nothing to show for? You want to work at the Burger King spot and sing up in there and they tell you the chef singing? Or do you want to say the hell with that? I want to get paid to sing. I want to get paid to rap. I want to get paid to dance. I want to get paid to make films. As soon as the opportunity comes where I can let this go and I can make money doing this, I'm out of here. Even if I got to get on a plane and go to Tokyo, Japan and get that 30 grand. Y'all gotta be willing to hop on a plane when I call you. Hey, look, I'm gonna give you a week notice. Could you be in Japan a week from now? Or I'm gonna give you a week. You got your passport yet? Or you ain't got it? All right, I'm gonna give you 2 weeks to get that stuff together. All right, in 2 weeks we go to Japan. All right, I don't want to hear about baby mama. I don't want to hear about baby daddy. I don't want to hear about none of that. I don't want to hear about you got to babysit. You can bring them, or we'll pay, or the money you get, you can pay somebody a couple stacks. They'll treat them like royalty until you come back. Right? That's it. I'll be like, hey, I'm giving you a week notice. We gotta be in Brooklyn, right? You got 10 stacks coming. You gotta go next week. You know? And you still holding on to that warehouse job, afraid to leave town. How in the hell you gonna be afraid to leave town and you got 10 stacks waiting on you in Brooklyn? Right? You all you gotta do is show up and you get 10 stacks before you perform. But you're afraid to leave town. See, that's the slave mentality. That's what Harriet Tubman had a problem with. She had to come with a shotgun to get people off the plantation. Her own husband told on her. Hey, y'all, look. We got to go to Cali. Yeah, I want you to sing. Yeah, girl, I want you to sing. I want you to sing in Diego. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you say you on your lunch break at Kmart or Walmart, or you're at Walmart. You work at Walmart. You're a manager. Yeah. I know you told me you make like $20 an hour. All right. But I need you in Vegas like in 3 days. I don't want to hear about no vacation. I don't want to hear about no vacation. There's 20 stacks on the table for you. There's 20 stacks on the table for me. You still talking about the job? All right. Well, Nubian Center Records is not going to be able to work with you. All right. Thank you for your time. Because see, when we bring you in, we the job. And we only saying that temporarily because we want you to make enough money where you become your own job. We want you to become our self-lord and master. Right? But you can't be it unless you know when it's time to leave the plantation. Right? Because they're not going to get it. Their job is not going to give you no stacks. The only way you're going to get a stack from your job is you break your back working some weeks for it. And then they're going to find out a way to try to grab it out. Right? They're going to try to find a way to, through taxes, to grab it out where it don't be a full stack. They're going to try to find a way to, because it's sharecropping consciousness that's been put on Black America. Sharecropping consciousness. If anybody understood how things really went down. Anybody understood how things went down during the ending of slavery, right? Where a lot of the plantation owners, and oh man, my slave's gonna leave. I'm gonna have to do all this work. I'm gonna have to go on these fields. I'm gonna get an extra 10 I don't want. And so they said, okay, let's do this. Let's tell our former slaves they could still stay on the plantation, right? They could still stay here, right? They could still stay in their little shacks. We're going to give them this money right here, right? We don't want to give it to them because they never had it before, but we're just going to go ahead and give it to them. So they got to go buy their own food, and they got to give us some of that back if they want to stay in these shacks. So now the slave, he get his money, and this is where the rent come in at. We was living rent free, right? Now we got to go back to the slave master. He just gave us the money. Then we come back and give him some of it back so we can stay in the shack that he owns, right? Then our stomach growling. Now we got to go to the market, the little general store down a dirt road, and his wife owns it. His cousin that lives on a plantation own it. One of the family members own it. Now we go give the money to them that we just got from him. The money just went right back. The money just went right back. And that's what's been going on since they sabotaged the Reconstruction, because Reconstruction was designed for us to get off of those sharecroppers, which was nothing but slavery in disguise. And then the prison system, how they developed the prison system, which they never had at first. They developed the prison system as a way to basically reinstitute slavery on the sly by the 13th Amendment, when it says that slavery is abolished except for imprisonment. And this is where the black codes come in at, because they start to illegalize any movement that we did that didn't seem right. And now you're going to jail. And these nefarious practices went all the way up to the time of Kissinger and Nixon. So as soon as J. Edgar Hoover died, Nixon said, "You know what? We got to carry on the works of J. Edgar Hoover." So I want to also go back to the music part, that this is where that we can be free and we're going to get the message out to the people. And I'm sorry for any of you rappers out there. Your time of being in front of the people is over with. We can't have you out there rapping and telling our young boys it's okay for them to wear dresses. We just can't have you wearing dresses and coming to the black community. We can't have you no more as coming to the black community and wearing dresses no more, brothers. We can't have you doing that, right? So this flag represents Black America from New York to St. Louis to LA. And that means that this is the embodiment of not just one black messiah. All these stars are black messiahs. 50 states of black messiahs. I think there's another state now they added, but these stars are black messiahs. So we can't have you brothers selling out to the beach and going out there and wearing dresses and think you're going to hop on the stages of Black America. We can't let you do that no more. We can't let you and if Lil Nas X don't like what I said, if Kid Cudi don't like what I said, and what's that other dude? What's that other dude? I forgot his name. Billy something. The one who wore the long black dress and he married to a white man. If none of them like what I said, and also none of the LGBTQ, you better not dare come to the Nubian Sufi Empire gods and goddesses and tell us that we gotta be transconformative. That we gotta tell our sons that they could become girls, and tell our boys, tell our sons that they could become girls, and tell our girls they could become boys, because we're gonna look at that as a form of war. Black America's already been burnt out and turned out. Genocide been practiced against us, as well as gentrification, for us to let somebody else come in and try to pervert our consciousness and pervert our souls. It's time for us to bring black families together. So no more coming into the music industry throwing us off. This is Black Messiah Nation. So you're not gonna come on the stage with that no more. You're not gonna come to St. Louis, get on the stage. You're not coming to St. Louis. You're not coming to the city of the Black Messiah. Think you're gonna come to the Shavit Center? Think you're gonna come to any of our centers in the city of the Black Messiah, and you're gonna think you're gonna wear a dress and come and perform in this gangsta ass town called St. Louis? You're not coming to St. Louis and don't dress in the city of the Black Messiah. Little Nas, you are barred from St. Louis. I said Little Nas X. Little Nas X, you are barred from St. Louis. Now the real Nas, Nasir Jones, man, Nasir Jones, the God representing Queens, man, you are honored to come to St. Louis whenever you want to come to. You are honored to come to St. Louis, Nasir Jones, the real Nas. And if you need, like I said, I'm on Little Nas X head. And I ain't even got to get on his head. I just snap my fingers and my nephews. And any of these other rappers think they're going to come wearing dresses. And also, any of you rappers that's talking about, I'm killing niggas, I'm shooting niggas. You talking about killing other black men and pulling guns and robbing other black men and selling dope in the community. Your time is up too. Because you working for the beast. You working to stop the rise of the Black Messiah as well as the whole nation of Black Messiahs. You on stage and you putting out music talking about how many niggas you killing. You ain't talking about killing no Ku Klux Klan. You ain't talking about killing no Aryans. You ain't talking about killing nobody that's talking about killing us. You talking about killing your own people. So your time is up, goddammit. This the ghetto rise of the Black Messiah. And if y'all don't like what I said, the Thug Angels are up on the Thug Angels, which is some interdimensional, you know what I'm saying, brothers that passed away and they came back to protect the movement. The Thug Angels on the roof with the scopes. And if the beast don't like what I have to say, the mothership is they know that the mothership is hovering above the planet. They know that there's motherships, what the book of Revelation speaks about the 7 angels. It don't matter what y'all don't like, the job of the Pharaoh is to enforce Mayat in the land. It's to enforce Mayat in the land, family. I want to give another announcement as well, that on July the 28th, the Black Messiah will be in Dallas, Texas, along with the Nubian Center Records. We're going to be in Dallas, Texas, and we're going to be having our tables out. We were just told that we can also have our tables out too. So we're going to be vending, and we're going to be in it's going to be for, we're going to be performing for Def Jam, and we also going to be vending. So I told the A&R from Def Jam that I'm going to be promoting this. I'm going to promote this for her, and I'm going to, as an A&R, because I'm also an A&R, so I'm going to be basically promoting this event as well. So it could be fired. So I'll let y'all know about that, but that's going to be actually in Texas, Dallas, Texas, July the 28th, and it's going to be basically the whole Black Messiah. Hold up, because this thing tried to trip on me just now. It wasn't even authorized to do what it did just now. I'm gonna cut this down for a minute. Cut the value down. There we go. So let me try to get the flyer out, cause y'all can see it big on this. So this is the bigger flyer right here. So this what's going on. So that's going on in Dallas, Texas. I'll be performing there, and Nubian Center Records will be in the house, and that's going to be on the July 28th. I want to give props out to Mr. Everywhere. We're gonna be working with Mr. Everywhere. I was introduced to him by good brother Boot Ali. Boot Ali, if you out there, we love you, Boot Ali. Boot Ali is gonna be playing Godspeed in the Black Godfather of St. Louis. But we also gonna have King Darius the Great. He's gonna be playing King Judah in the Black Godfather of St. Louis. We reached out to Professor Griff, but to play a role. But if he accepts it, we'll give it to him. But I might reach out to KRS-One for him to play this role of Asar Zulu Shabazz, and that's the movie The Black Godfather of St. Louis. But we're gonna be doing a production. We're gonna do everything all at one time, so it's gonna be a lot of energy. So I'm letting y'all know it's gonna be a lot of energy. I'm gonna be here and there. Y'all might see me on a plane. Y'all might see me on a train. Y'all might see me in a phantom whip, or y'all may see me just walk through a magic portal. I might just walk through a portal because I may not want to get on. I may want to just walk through a portal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be everywhere. The Black Messiah and Nubian Center Records, Nubian Alchemy Films. We're gonna have some FOI. I'm gonna reach out to the Lions of Judah, the Lion of Judah. We're gonna have some FOI. We got the Sun Moon. Because security is a must. Security is a must because I already told somebody that we're going to have security because somebody run up on a stage on us. They might, especially when I'm performing, they might get Kung Fu kicked off the stage, right? They may be Kung Fu kicked off the stage. You're not going to run up on the stage on the God, you know what I'm saying, or any other cipher. So, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. You already ended because I done said all that I wanted to say. But this has been a long journey though. I've been an underground artist for years, right? And the reason I was an underground artist is because what kicked off in 1991 with that music industry. Was it Crazy Bone that did this YouTube, and so. A lot of stuff was happening to stop the Black Messiah rise, to stop things I could have had came out because I had before I got swallowed up, of course, I was offered a record deal by RCA Records. And I was in the studio working with Eazy-E, old promoter. So there was a lot of opportunity that came, and by one way or the other, they was missed opportunities. And then being way out no black man's land, you know what I'm saying, at that time of my life. But I'm happy to say that I have met people in the industry. I've met people out there in California like the brother that Lonzo Williams, who put together the world class wrecking crew who Dr. Dre used to work under back in the days. So I met a lot of people. So I'm not sad. I'm glad because I still got my youthful appearance. I'm not all old looking. So when I do be performing, people think I'm 19 and 20, you know what I'm saying? And I already told the queen I'm about to go back into the gym. As you notice, Nelly, LL Cool J, Will Smith, all them, they was like me. But when they start eating that money, they start buffing up like Hercules, you know what I'm saying? So I'm about to go back into the gym. So if y'all happen to know me or we cypher, we build, I'm in your city or your town, and I'm touring, I'm not even gonna be eating no junk food. I'm like, yo, where gym at? Let's go to the gym real fast. You know what I'm saying? Because it's time for us to get it in. It's gonna be a lot of energy. One of the things that I really want, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say it, I want to have 20 children. You know what I'm saying? For real, because when you building a legacy like this, you see what Bob Marley put together? Bob Marley, this man right here. The queen got this for me. Bob Marley got like 17 children. Elijah Muhammad got about the same amount. You know what I'm saying? The children work together. The children work, they grown, they work together, they do music together, they do tours together. You know what I'm saying? So as men, and we got Father's Day coming up, I have a son. I haven't never got a chance to know about my son because I had just found out about him not too long ago. So I missed that chance with him. You see what I'm saying? I missed that chance with him. You know what I'm saying? But there's a chance for a new generation, and that's what we build. That's what I'm building this for. If I build this Nubian Center Records, Nubian Alchemy Films, and they become a multi-million-dollar thing, and the empire is at its level, my sons, my daughters will never have to work. They will never have to work. They will be born into wealth. And this is where your Rockefellers come from. This is where your Rothschilds and all that come from. You know what I'm saying? A generational wealth. A job, you can only use a job to get money to put it into your own business. Right? Because you can lose that job any minute. We as a people need to be focused on generational wealth, building stuff that our children, right? I had a vision, I had grandchildren. I had a vision, I had grandchildren. Actually, I had a vision, I had great grandchildren playing around me. And I had a green kufi on. I had a money green kufi, a green shirt, and like that picture of Bawa Muhayyadeen, I had a white beard. But I had a young face, and I was so happy because my great grandbabies, I lived to see my great grandbabies, and they was playing on land that I had bought before their parents was born. They was playing on land that I had bought before their parents and their parents' parents was born. So I'm grinding so I can make it to that future. I'm grinding so I can make it to that future where I can have my great grandchildren around me. And it was a whole tribe of great grandchildren. Boys, girls, it was a tribe of them. They were all Nubian, you know what I'm saying, the bright colors. It looked like a Wakanda. It was like I was a great grandfather. You know what I'm saying? So I know my sons and my grandsons, they was out building gold cities around the world, or probably on other planets building cities. And so that is what we're building for. That is the New Jerusalem that we're building for. People are so stuck in their ego, they can't see beyond their faces. They can't see beyond the mall. People that are really in tune with God can see into the future. So we got to be able to see into the future. We got to be able to see that far if we're going to survive the war Armageddon that we're in. If we could survive the war Armageddon, we could make it into New Jerusalem. The war Armageddon is the crumbling of Babylon, right? And when we could see our destiny, that we could see that we're going to be that Nubian Sufi empire again. We're gonna be that golden empire of gods and goddesses again. We're gonna be this right here. That's in our literature. This is where I post. We're gonna be this again. This is what we was before we went to sleep 500 years ago. This is what we're gonna be only if we wake up. Only if we get out of the jealousy. Men jealous over men, women jealous over women, hating, anger, backbiting. We gotta know how. We gotta get up and celebrate with each other. We gotta get up and raise energy. People don't understand that poverty and being broke is based on your mind state. Poverty and being broke is based on your mind state. Do you got a broken mind state? Do you have a mind state where you're always angry, you're always mad? Do you have a mentality that you're depressed, you're sad? Do you have what type of mentality are you radiating? A thunderstorm or a sunny mentality where even if your pockets is empty, you celebrating. Man, I'm broke, but I ain't care. I'm like, yo. And that energy brings money to your wallet. that energy that you putting out, that sunny energy, is bringing money to your empty purse. We don't understand. We thinking that the money is coming from a job. We thinking it's coming from a bank. We are the money. But we got to tap into that Christ, that Christ. We got to send out that sunny energy into the world. Because the energy that you put out is the energy that you receive. Right? Sometimes pull over your car and just wave at people. But if they walk up to you like, I'm just waving, I ain't trying to get too deep in no conversation, because we got to be cautious, because some people's minds ain't right. As a God, you can love a person from a distance. As a goddess, you can love a person from a distance by sending a love thought to that person. You ain't even got to open your mouth. You could just say, you know what? I'm sitting in my car. I'm looking at everybody walking around. I'm just going to radiate love energy to everybody. I ain't going to approach nobody, because some people is crazy. You can't approach everybody. But your thoughts can approach everybody, and just send out love thoughts to everybody. Joy, happiness. Somebody out there begging for a nickel, just send out the energy, send out that 99 name. Send out that 99 name that represents abundance. Razik. Razik. Right? Al-Razik. Razik. Send that thought, send that angel, send that Lord to that person that's begging for some change. And that thought may hit them, and before you know it, they pockets might start spilling dollars out of it. Like, what's going on? They might, some hundreds of dollars might start busting out their pockets out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Start sending out thoughts, positive thoughts to everybody. Right? I know it's hard for you to think like sending positive thoughts if you're going through a divorce, you lost your apartment, you lost your job, somebody in the family died, your favorite auntie died. I know it's hard to send out positive energy when you're going through stuff. You found out you had a cancer diagnosis, all type of stuff you're finding out, and you're afraid to send out positive thoughts because you think it don't work. But there's a God in you that you are not waking up. And so when you start sending those positive thoughts, anything that's negative that's going on within you, that is an alchemy, right? And it's going to transmute that lead into what? Gold. It's going to transmute that lead into gold. So also you're gonna get a call from the doctor while you probably been sending out positive energy for the last 7 days. And you've been ignoring your problems. You've been ignoring your stress. Because you said, I am a son. I am a son. I am a son of God. S-U-N of God. So as an S-U-N of God, I'm sending light to the planets. Right? And so in the laws of Mayat represents what? Reciprocity. Right? So what you give is what you receive. Right? So dig this. You got so spiritually drunk, is what Sufis call wine. You got so spiritually drunk off of sending out this divine positive energy to any and everybody. But when you do it, you can't judge nobody. You can't say, You can't be, I'm only going to send some positive thoughts to my favorite cousin. Skip them other mugs. Or I'm just going to send positive energy to somebody that I see that look like they need it. Yeah, that person, I like the way they dress. I'm gonna send energy there. You don't pick and choose who you gonna send some divine love energy to, because if that's the case, the sun in the sky is gonna say, I'm only gonna shine some light on that house. The rain is gonna say, I'm only gonna shower down some rain on that tree, right? We'll be all jacked up, because there'll be a lot of people that'll be left in the dark, and a lot of people that'll be down at dehydration, because the rain will be hitting only one spot over here, a favorite spot over here, and the sun over here. All that conditional love. We don't need no conditional. We need unconditional love. We need to send love everywhere. Just close your eyes, and just like that statue of justice is a blind justice. We don't want no blind justice. But sometimes you might have to cover your eyes and just let your mind send divine thoughts everywhere. You don't know who it's gonna hit. And that's how God moves. His eyes ain't closed. His eyes sees everybody. So when he sends out love, he sends out to everybody, right? He sends out to the white, the black, the Chinese, the Muslim, the Christian, the Jew. He sends out, everybody is able to breathe. If he was to say, you know what, y'all ain't pay me nothing for all this life force y'all got. Y'all ain't pay me nothing for my life force I breath in y'all. Y'all walking around with my life force. Y'all ain't even paying for this sun and y'all talking stuff. Y'all ain't even paying for this rain. I'm taking it all back, right? But he sends out to everybody. You don't say, oh, that's my favorite person. Everybody is getting this. So as little gods, ye are all God's children of the Most High God. We need to be able to send out love to everybody. And guess what? 7 days later or 5 days, however you do it, depending on how much, it's going to come back. People want miracles, but they don't want to. People want miracles, but they don't want to make a deposit. You got to make a deposit in order for you to make a withdrawal. So you sending out all this positive energy to everybody in your community, whether you like them or not. Person that's talking crap to you still send energy out, because that's what God would do. You know what I mean? People say, I don't believe God exists. I'm an atheist. But they still living. They living off the life force that's in them, that he put in them. He said, you don't believe in me? Nigga, give me my life force back. He didn't say that. Because he don't deal with emotions. He deals with mathematics. So that person say they're atheists, they don't believe in the God. Then they go have sex with this woman over here, put out a baby that become a preacher. Put out a baby that become an imam. Put out a baby that become a sheik. Put out a baby that become a guru. Put out a baby that become a miracle working healer. Right? Because everybody has a purpose. And because we're in a universe that's built on mathematics, either you're gonna be subtracted because you don't fit in the mathematics, or some power is gonna be added on to you. And the greatest thing is when you become a God, is you're able to multiply yourself. Right? And you can also divide a situation amongst that which you multiply. Meaning when you multiply yourself, like what I do, I love people. People are more important to me than money. I don't just look at people, like today, I got a brother phone number. You know what I'm saying? That was in the mosque. I want to get some bean pie from you. And I haven't seen a brother like probably about 4 or 5 years. No, 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I'm putting his number in and his number popped up in my phone. Like, whoa. From 4 or 5 years. All right? I already had his number. And so I value people because this person that comes into my realm, that's another me. Right? This brother that comes into my realm is another me, and if there's resources that are needed, I can reach out. This brother does art. This brother is a scientist, so he can help us come up with our own vaccines. You know what I'm saying? Or this sister. Same thing with women. A man can have a platonic relationship with women for years and don't have sex. Some of y'all that's on a low level don't understand that. It ain't all about sex between men and women. So there could be a sister that could be a part of the cipher that we grew up with, brothers. And she said she was going and joining the government government and working for the finance department, whatever, the treasury, whatever. And now we trying to get some things going and infrastructure on starting our own government and also protecting our businesses. And here come the sister that was a part of the crew who nobody ever had sex with. She was just a home girl. And now she's bringing in, now she became a senator and she's hooking us up with federal contracts worth millions and billions of dollars. Is the wives of us brothers going to give her a problem? Or are they going to have the wisdom to understand that she's a part of the cipher? And we are brothers and sisters who are coming together like Voltron. That's what time it is. That is what this is about right here. That is what the Nubian Sufi Empire is about. That is what this is about. You see those brothers right there? They're unified. They suit and tie like the nation, but they Nubian Sufis. Ain't no who that nigga is. I don't like that nigga. That's how a lot of that's the street mentality. I could be going. So if I was to show up somewhere like, brother, mean mugging me. Why you mean mugging me for, brother? Why you mean mugging me for? You ain't mean mugging the police. Brothers are unified. Look at these sisters right here. These sisters are unified. They putting their vocals together so they could do some heckle. They ain't saying, I don't like that B. She think her hair look better than mine. These sisters are unified. This is why I put this all the time, every day. Good morning, gods and goddesses. Not good morning, niggas and niggettes. Not good morning, thugs and thoughts. And then we got the baby, because the baby is the future. There cannot be children without men and women coming together. There is not going to be any children, any more black leaders, any more black messiahs, unless black man and black woman come together. How you think we got Malcolm X? How you think we got Martin Luther King? How you think we got Minister Louis Farrakhan? So we would never teach anything about certain things. We're not going to teach in the Nubian Sufi Empire. I'm not going to go off into that right now. So this is a movement. This is a movement that is our rise. This is our time. But we got to come together the right way. And as I said, as we're sending out this positive energy, like these sisters, you see these sisters sending this energy out. These sisters sending this energy out. And the brothers, they holding security, they holding making sure everything's straight. And these sisters are sending, these Nubian Sufi sisters are sending this positive energy out. Do you understand that when the energy come back, you might be on the phone, and the doctor may call you on the phone, tell you, oh, I don't know what happened, but your cancer, we don't see no trace of cancer in your files no more. You might go open a mailbox up and you got a check for $20,000. You thought you was about to get kicked out your house. You may get a text from your wife or your husband say, let's go to Hawaii. Y'all thought y'all was getting a divorce or a separation. You may get a spiritual visit from your uncle that died. And he tell you I don't know what happened, but there's an alternate reality where I never died. And the angels told me I can go there. And they said, because you was raising some type of energy that opened up a door I couldn't get through. Because I died without knowledge of self. So your saw helped me out. Now I'm gonna go in that alternate reality and live as a god, live to an old man instead of dying at 55. I'm gonna live to be 100 and something. So your energy can affect everything around you, and that is why we are pushing as gods and goddesses about showing forth power, not just book knowledge, but we showing forth power. We showing forth the power of being a god or being a goddess, and that is heralded by the Black Messiah movement. Because the Black Messiah movement is the gas behind the Nubian Sufi empire, gods and goddesses. And in the Nubian Sufi empire, gods and goddesses, it's not a religious organization, it's a theocracy. It's the main basis of the Nubian Sufi empire of gods and goddesses is so we can rebuild, or we can reestablish ourselves as the Olmec Empire, or as the new Olmec Empire. Right? So we gonna work with brothers that's in a nation. We want brothers in the nation of Islam, the Hebrew Israelites, the Moor Science Temple, the Rastafari community, the Pan-African community, the KEMETIC community, the Fahami community. You know, we want all those organizations that was built and designed to help out the original peoples. We want them first to be as the leaders in the Nubian Sufi community, empire, gods and goddesses. We want those to be as our school teachers, as our professors, where our children are going to learn knowledge itself. We want them to be as our mayors and our governors and our senators in our government. Right? And then on a greater level, as we establishing that, we want to dialogue with everybody on the planet Earth, because we need to dialogue with everybody on the planet Earth in a formal way that we are establishing a global paradise as Nubian Sufis. We're establishing a global paradise where the whole planet Earth is filled with gods and goddesses. Because the only way that these elites, the World Economic Forum, who wanna take everybody money and put it under their mark, as well as the World Death Organization, the only way that they're gonna win, these elites gonna win, like Bill Snakes, all these elites like the fake popes, you know what I'm saying? The only way that they're gonna win if we do not bring about a global paradise where everybody is gods and goddesses. So there won't be any the racism and oppression and all that. We have gods and goddesses. The whole planet is full of gods and goddesses. So there won't be any room for any devils or demons or shaitans or beasts or wicked dragons to exist. They won't be able to exist on a heaven on earth, right? We're not talking about a heaven in the sky when you die. We're talking about a heaven on the ground while you're still around, right? Because we are entering the age of Aquarius. I was born for this. I was born for this. Like the Joshua of 2,000 years ago was born for the age of Pisces. We are in the age of Aquarius. And in the age of Aquarius, you're going to be witnessing the planet moving in the process of moving in the same pattern as the planet Venus. And this is why I said in the hadiths that on the day of resurrection, the sun will rise where? In the west. On planet Venus, if you were standing on planet Venus, the sun rises where? In the west. And that takes us back to Venice, California. Where is Venice, California? Which is named after planet Venus. It's in the west, right? And this is where the Mayan prophecy of Quetzalcoatl comes from. Who is Quetzalcoatl? Black America is Quetzalcoatl. Who is the Olmec Empire that went to sleep, and that the planets are put in position to be reactivated via the Ankh. Black America is the Olmec Empire. And I want to state one more thing. I want to share with you all this symbol right here. This right here is the peach. And in ancient China, the peach symbolized immortality, right? And so there's a saying that me and King Darius would say, peace and blessings, uh, omnipotence and immortality. So this peach right here represents the immortality that in the Chinese legends, the Exions or the immortals, they basically had to, they had an orchard full of peaches, and the immortals would eat these peaches, but they'd grow every 3,000 years. And you know that the ancient Chinese culture came from the Shang dynasty, which is the Kushite, black Kushites that came to first settle China. So there's a science in the peach and physical immortality, and it lines up with the Ankh. And this is what this is what we're gonna do in the course of us doing our tours and interacting with people, is we want to get people to take down that crucifix, because that crucifix represents death, right? And we see there's nothing but death in the black community and death in the world. And for 500 years since that crucifix has been up, it's been nothing but death and war and disease and all type of stuff, oppression, genocide. So this is the key that's going to activate the Anunnaki technology on this planet. This is the key that's going to shut the doors of death. It's going to tell death, you know what? Go ahead and retire for the rest of eternity. Your services are no longer needed, right? So this is what the churches need. This is what our leaders need that's out doing the dangerous work of speaking and teaching and waking people up. They need this Ankh for protection, right? So we need to get these Ankhs to our little babies. So our babies, when they go out into this world that is ruled by beasts with the desire to consume our babies, they're going to wear this Ankh right here. And the light of this Ankh is basically the light of the Karas. People say, well, I'll follow Jesus. But Jesus did not wear, the Jesus that you say you follow, the real Jesus, did not wear crucifix. He wore this right here. Because how could preachers and pastors talk about they bring abundant life and they got a death cross? If you teaching about abundant life, this is what you're going to bring to the people, Reverend. This is what you're going to bring to the people, minister and deacon. And I'm not going to attack any of them, because I know some churches that would listen to what I got to say, right? One last thing. I'm going to be recording the song Jesus. It's off the Ghetto Rise to the Black Messiah. And I'm gonna let it play as we get ready to leave. But it's not a gospel, it's more of a political song. And it reflects when I first became Esau. I was still Heru and I was coming into Sufism, but I wanted to have a name that would line up with Sufism. And I just happened to be looking at the book, The Message to the Black Man, in 1998, and I saw the word Esau. And I couldn't believe it said Esau, I said Jesus. Esau in Arabic, Jesus. And so I said, wow. So before I even took on that attribute, I did something that I wouldn't even believe that I would have done. But I was already cool with the Black Jesus concept. So I did an altar. A magic altar. And I asked permission from the Esau or the Yahshua of 2,000 years ago if I could take on the name Esau, if I could take on his name, if I could take on the name Esau, which means I'm taking on the name Yahshua, which means I'm taking on the name Jesus. So I asked permission, right? I was at the altar, but I was like this in Sufi form, not like this, but like a Sufi. And I went to sleep. This was when I was in my cell. And I went to sleep. And I had a vision. And in the vision, a black man. No, before the black man showed up, in the vision, I woke up in the vision. I was in the church. And I'm from a Baptist church background, so I don't know if that dealt with the subconscious mind or what. But I'm talking about my family, my mother, they was all Baptist. Grandmother, they was all Baptist. So I don't know if that vision grabbed a memory from the past, but I was in the church, and there was black women, a line of black women, and they had blue robes, like bluish robes with stripes coming down, dark blue stripes, and they was singing, they were like, ah, and the music was so soulful, family. It was so soulful. It was like earth, wind, and fire. It was so soulful. These black women were singing. They was like choir women. And by them having that blue on like they did, and they was waving back and forth like this, they almost looked like they was oceans. They almost looked like they was a living ocean. But it was just they had the blue and the light blue and the dark blue like this. They had dark blue like this, and the robes was light blue. And they was waving back and forth like they was imitating, like their body movements was imitating the ocean, which at the time I didn't connect it with the Asherah concept of El's wife, Asherah, which her name means she who walks the sea. You know what I'm saying? Elot, the goddess. But like I said, it was all black women. They was chorus, singing like the chorus, and they was like, ah, la, la, la. And it was like I could have heard Anita Baker or Patti LaBelle, you know what I'm saying, or Lauryn Hill, you know what I'm saying, or Jill Scott, and they was singing. This is 1998, and I'm in the belly of the beast. And so, out of nowhere, a black man came, walked right in from the side. He walked in from the side and stood right in the middle of these sisters that was singing. And I swear on my father's and my mother's grave, the black man looked just like me. The only thing is that I couldn't see his mouth because he had a thick beard. His beard was this thick. It was the beard, the mustache was thick, the beard was thick. His skin was my complexion, but the only difference, it would look like he had like a shag coming down, right? He was thick hair, like it was shag, like a wavy shag type, but he looked like he was like 20. He looked like he was about 20 or 30 years older. He looked like he was 20 or 30 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? But I barely was able to recognize him because of this thick beard that was right here. I barely, you know how, because this is before everybody started wearing the Rick Ross beards and stuff. So I just might say he had like a Rick Ross, he had like a smaller Rick Ross beard. But this is before everybody started wearing it and stuff. This is like 1998, and I was having a vision. So I didn't know about no Rick Ross. So, but it was thick, so I was barely able to see the lip. But I knew he looked like me, same complexion, same height. And his eyes were bloodshot red. Not red like he was smoking like it was weed, but it was red like it was like fire flames. Like fire flames was coming from the eyes, like fiery flames coming from the eyes. And he had his was similar to the choir, but his was kind of different. His was blue, but he had white stripes. So this was white. This is white, but the robe was light blue. And theirs was light blue, but had dark blue. His robe was, and they was silk robes too. Let y'all know they robes were silk. So his was silk blue and had the white stripes and looking like me 30 or 40 years in the future. And he stood right there and he didn't speak but looked me right in my eyes. But the mental message that I was receiving was that he was ticked off at 500 years of his name being butchered, 500 years of his name being used for slavery, for exploitation, for genocide of peoples, of the native peoples around the world, for all the diseases and all this other madness that is in the world and that's about to happen in the world. It was an anger. It was an anger like the fire, the red fire from his eyes was ready to consume the entire planet, save those who are in his name, but not in the false Jesus, which was the Pope's son, Borgia, Caesar Borgia, who was a warlord and who they got on churches everywhere, but in his real self, and that's the Black Messiah. And note, I had already became the Black Messiah years before I went to the Beast. So it was like I was meeting what the Moors call, what the brothers in the Moors call the higher self. It's like I was looking at my higher self, if y'all understand where I'm coming from. The self that existed before this physical flesh, this carnal flesh came into existence, that existed 2,000. It's like I was looking at my 2,000 years ago self. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? Why? And that's why I say I'm that avatar. But I was already told by the Elohim that there are many messiahs. There have been many messiahs throughout time. But Yahshua of 2,000 years ago was one of many messiahs that existed, right? One of many messiahs that existed, or pharaohs that existed, but European Christianity wrote the other messiahs out. They wrote them out or erased them out of history. So when he looked at me in the eyes, it was like I was looking at my older self and he was looking at his younger self. It was also like I was looking at myself of the past and he was looking at himself of the future. And I understood that what he did is what he did, and what I gotta do today is gonna be my own history writing. I can't take from that and claim that, but I can claim the Christ energy that he was transmitting to me telepathically, and I can be the modern version of Esau. I could be the modern version of Yahshua. I could be the modern version of Jesus. And once he gave me that permission, I became Esau. And my Sufism took me from the third dimension, or took me from the first dimension, or it took me from not the first dimension. It took me from the physical plane, or to the seventh heavens. It took me somewhere else, and I started experiencing from that day on, from 1998, so much persecution, so much persecution coming from authorities that I wanted to get a name back. I done went through deaths in the family. I done went through all type of stuff. I done went through homelessness. I done went through all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I done went through all type of pain and suffering. You know what I'm saying? But that was the price of me taking on that name. That was the price that I was communicating, that if I'm taking on this name, I'm going to experience the same suffering today that he experienced. Right? And I will not trade in that suffering, because I'm being rewarded for that suffering today. I'm being rewarded for that suffering 24 years later. 24 years later, I'm being rewarded for that suffering. And all that suffering of me being an alchemist is being transmuted into a long life of prosperity, and a long life period. Like I said, I was given that vision of seeing my great grandchildren playing around me, right, on land that I found before their fathers was even born. So this is the rise of the Black Messiah, and this is a rise of us going to these young men who are the next generation. I got nephews that I'm going to be bringing into the fold, and so we Nubian Sufis are going to be asking you black mothers, just don't be babying your sons. Don't say you could be the father and the mother. You can't be the father and the mother. You can only be the mother. We the Nubian Sufi Empire, gods and goddesses, we're gonna help you by being fathers of the fatherless, right? Because you rather your sons come to the gods than your sons get devoured by the beast, right? Because that's all they want to do is devour your sons, who are the future black senators, the future black presidents, right? The future pharaohs. And that's what this Black Messiah movement. It ain't just so y'all can just focus on me, but so y'all can clear the way as I kick the football, right? Because it's the next generation that I had a vision of in 2000, and that vision was the new Olmec Empire. And it was your sons that was sitting it was your black sons that was sitting in seats of power in DC. This is what they've been trying to stop. But they can't stop it. Nor can they kill us. Because we's babies, kids. We don't die, we multiply, family. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I'm going to reiterate. Juneteenth, come out and see the Black Messiah perform at Maffitt, Sabiye. I'll post it again in case you missed out on the information. I'm going to be down there at 1 p.m. Show love to the Black Messiah. And then I'm going to be on a natural bridge the next day, Fairground Park. Come by UTBA flag, put it in your front yard. You know what I'm saying? And even if you white, Korean, whatever, get this flag, right? Get this flag, get what we got. And you know what? When I was walking down Central West End with that flag, I had even white people wanting to buy the flag, and black people were looking like they didn't want to look at it. But I had even white people want to buy it. And you know what I'm saying? And so this is a universal movement, because we not talking about just no skin color, family. We talking about a government that's ruled by gods and goddesses. And everybody, all races, going to want to be in that government. This is a government that's built, this is based on God. This is God's government. I ain't got to worry about poverty. I ain't got to worry about war. I ain't got to worry about crime. I ain't got to worry about diseases. We up on the God's government. The Bible said New Jerusalem is going to be a blessing for everybody. You know what I'm saying? The Quran, the Holy Quran says it's going to be rivers of milk, wine, and honey. We want that world. Everybody going to want that world. Nobody's going to want no world. Why should we deny people paradise? Why should we deny people paradise because of this? That's what the beast does. So if people want to get this, I'm going to give it to them. But I want to give it to my brothers and sisters first, right? I want to give it to you first, right? Because charity starts at home before it what? Spreads abroad. So show love to the Black Messiah, the Pharaoh Esau, the Black Messiah, Nubian Center Records. All you black businesses, whether you're in St. Louis or in different cities, come out and be a part of the Black Godfather production. Do some sponsorship. You know what I'm saying? Throwing some black dollars, throwing just a little black dollars, you may get a mountain full of black dollars tossed back to you. You know what I'm saying? To support my movie production, because it's for us. It's by us, for us. You know what I'm saying? Like FUBU. For us, by us, FUBU. I'm going to get with FUBU. I'm going to find out about FUBU. They still doing their thing. But come on, support this, right? Because Tyler Perry ain't doing what I'm doing on the movie. Spike Lee ain't doing what I'm doing on this. And none of these artists are doing what we're getting ready to do on this music. You know what I'm saying? The only one that was close to doing what we're doing on this music would have been this Public Enemy when back in the early days. And I want to give shouts out to the OG, Public Enemy, Chuck D, and I want to give shouts out to Ice Cube and the rest of them. Those brothers, inspired me to move forward, and also KRS-One as well, and Rakim, the God Rakim. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give props out to Nas. A lot of y'all don't know that I met Nas before. Me and Nas about the same age. I met him in Howard University way back in the days, way back in DC. So I met Nas before, and so a lot of the old school. If I had it my way, I'd bring a lot of them to St. Louis. So let's see how things work. Let's go ahead and get one thing out the way, this Black Messiah movement, and get these movies going, right? I even got a Black Superman movie that's gonna come right after we get done with the Black Godfather movies, and I got a Star Wars script I haven't even finished yet. So there's a lot of creativity, and we're gonna be bringing in other filmmakers and artists and stuff because it's time. And I don't know if Elon Musk is gonna buy Twitter or not. I'm gonna even build with Elon Musk, but my goal is to buy BET back because what they put on BET family is nothing but black devilism. They putting out black people with money, but they putting out black people with money as being black devils. They ain't put nothing positive out. They ain't put no lessons out. It's all the nigga stuff they putting out. And they also putting out trans stuff, and they're not really in the commercials. They're not putting out black nuclear families no more. They putting out some other stuff, and so the people that's behind BET is like they're white families, a white aristocratic family, and I can't get mad at the brother Johnson that sold BET. He sold it. It was black billionaires that could have put their money together. Black celebrities could have put their money together and bought BET. They got sold to Japan, and then guess who comes through the back door and grab it from the Japanese. So we have to be able to take ownership of that which is going to influence us as a people, because right now they're using BET to influence Black America to walk off a cliff. And so my job as a Black Messiah, or as Yahshua, meaning Yahuwah sends salvation, you know what I'm saying, or Esau, I Savior law. My job as a savior is to save our people from what? Walking off that cliff. And the only way I could do that is we all come together as the Black Nation of Israel, or Isis Ra'el, because that's what that really represents. Ancient, the real original United Nations, right? So Pharaoh Esau the Black Messiah, or Esau Shakur, or whatever you want to call me, Pharaoh Hekarah. I gotta get ready to shut this down. My astrology clock just told me it's sun time. I got an astrology clock. I want to show y'all something cool too, real fast, because we want to start getting off into the planets and stuff. We want to get up into our astrology. We don't want to be like we need to start knowing the time, so we won't get lost by the time. So this is something cool right here. Show you like the different constellations and whatnot, and you better believe it. NASA ain't just studying astronomy; they studying astrology too. All of it means something, right? So let's go ahead. I'm gonna leave off with this song "Jesus" off of the Ghetto Rise of the Black Messiah. I want y'all to make sure y'all buy this album when it hits. All right. Heka Hotel.
Esau prays to the Heavenly Father, but you tell me to pray to Jesus.
He's us. His name was used by Rome to bleed us, mislead us of the Christ within, meant to free us, cheat us with eyes in the sky. They still feed us, squeeze us with 33 degrees to freeze us, delete us with more chemicals to disease us, deceive us. No green monkeys hanging with cheaters. Alchemy is the cure that will clean us, redeem us, and not even death can defeat us. Jesus, yeah, he's us. The church speak up. What's the pentagram? Reverend teachers, read us in the hieroglyphs. The stars dreamed up, shed into Yahweh's world to turn the heat up. Jesus, yeah, he's us. And then speak up. The homeless on the corner are hungry and yelling, feed us. Yuppies bought our home, rent we couldn't keep up. Roman soldiers, police beat us, stores and jails, slop feed us. Gangsters found the Lord, they become jailhouse preachers, yelling Jesus. Yeah, he's us, now let's redeem us. Parole plays God, now who do you pray to free us? Lead us of years of time, our family needs us. Schemes, forgiveness on practice, but they preach us. Jesus, yeah, he's us, now let's free us from war and poverty. The bell hands and squeezes, they banging to death. Old heads can't walk the streets. What? Caesar offers help, now they locking all of your peeps up. Parents get your children, or martial law creeps up. Ghetto concentration camps will be us. Jesus, yeah, he's us, and let's free 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 us.